Brandon, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Are you also like a Zen guy? Because I see the pouch through the.
Velo. I've been trying.
Is it nicotine or
It is nicotine, but I've been trying
6 milligram? Fucking savage.
everything I can. You know what I mean?
I'm a 3 milligram pussy.
I like that. I don't really like Zens. I like that because you can still swallow it.
Oh
I
really?
don't have to sit there and spit in a cup.
Sound like all my ex-girlfriends.
Right, right. But I'm going to have dinner with my parents tomorrow. My mom bought me these 2 different devices, so I'm really trying to kick it.
Do your parents live in town still? Like, do you
Yeah, they live.
frequent
Do
with
you know
them?
Newtown?
Yeah.
They live in Newtown.
Gotcha,
Yeah. So
gotcha.
try to visit with them.
Are you a St. Louis native or did you?
Yeah, I was born in St. Peters, Missouri.
Okay.
From here all my life, haven't moved very far from it. Still live in St. Peters.
Do you say that with reverence or with
No, I don't mind.
anger? Okay, no difference.
I'm
to you.
okay being where I am right now. I'm also okay with striving for new places.
Yeah, I guess it should serve like how I know you. I met you. You're a server at Capitol Grill here in Clayton, Missouri, and I think we met you the very first time when we went out to dinner, and then ever since we've had you, we've always requested you, and it's always been a phenomenal evening.
And I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm going to tell a small story. My brother was in at Capitol Grill, and I guess the last name came up as, I don't want to dox actually, everyone knows my last name, so Zekfi. And he was like, hey, do you have a brother? I go, yeah. And he's like, he showed me the reservation list, and I go, listen, do you have him tonight? And he's like, no, my buddy's like going to wait on him. I go, okay, cool. If he's with like a group of guys, I want you to go over there and be like, hey, I have a message from Mr. Zekfi. You're gay, and then just like walk away. And the fucking guy actually did it. I got my phone blown up by like all of my brother's friends. Like, you're a fucking, that's so badass. Like, Andy was having like this serious conversation about like what investments and all this other stuff. And then the waiter comes in, I have a message for Mr. Zekthi. And Andy's like, yeah, what's up? He's like, your brother says you're gay. And then he just like walked away. So thank you. I heard about that for like the last week and a half, 2 weeks.
That's good. I strive for those moments. Anything I could do to make people have a good time. It's not always about the dining, you know. It's about building friends and relationships.
I would say that the food is actually tertiary to the ambiance and the service. I think those 2 things are actually more important than the food.
You can go into any restaurant and have the best food of your life, but if the service was bad, you're going to talk about how bad that service was. Now, you can go into another restaurant that you love and you've been going to for years because the guy that takes care of you, and even when things mess up, he's still taking care of you and you still like being there because it's him and it's the service. And you still don't talk about the bad food.
It's interesting too because they're completely detached. Meaning like this. I mean, the server's not in charge of like
No.
the cooks in the back or anything like that.
And
So
it's
like,
hard to elaborate to guests.
that it wasn't you.
I am not in charge of the 8-man crew back there that is handling your one plate, and I wish people could understand that, but yeah.
When it gets like super crazy, because I know that there's always like a rush, right? In the evenings when you feel like you're just constantly moving from table to table and all these other things, do you find that makes your job harder or easier?
I do worse when it's slower.
Yeah.
And I think that's as a collective for waiters. And I think it's because the kind of people we are. We strive on fast, you know, and I think I found a perfect medium with the restaurant that I'm in because I can work fast and provide a slow service at the same time, and that's what I like to do. I like it when people want to come in and sit there for a few hours and enjoy themselves, you know, and that makes me feel like, oh, they want to be here. They don't want to just get out, you know. That's what I like. I like in a guest, but it's weird. It's weird. It's a weird world. I feel like a lot of these servers, a lot of the servers, they have, you know, everyone's got a sad story, right? But I feel like a lot of servers always have something, you know, whether it be they're doing this job because things didn't work out, you know.
I don't know
Or
if I'd say that at your place though. I mean, if you're like working at, forgive
don't-
me for what I'm about to say, like Steak and Shake or something like that.
Right.
I can understand that concept.
even in places
Yeah.
like this, I think you probably find the same people in Michelin star restaurants.
Yeah.
I've worked in a restaurant since I was 15, and I have seen the same people work in a bowling alley, French fries and all that, in a fine dining restaurant. They just happen to get their foot in the door.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're changing who they are.
That's actually one of the questions I had for you because you're like a relatively young guy. You're what, 25?
26.
26, sorry. And you've been waiting, or sorry, not necessarily just serving, but I remember you saying that when you started at Capitol, it wasn't as a server, right? It was like it was as a server?
No, you're correct.
Okay,
I
okay.
was a busboy.
Exactly,
Or a server
first.
assistant.
And how old were you when you got that first job? And like, this is the question I wanted to ask because you're a young guy. So like, you're in there with a high-end clientele sitting there talking about like what wines to pair with their steak and what sides you would prefer with this. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of people come in from varied walks of life. So it's interesting to me that a young guy can have the palate to kind of facilitate conversations and be like kind of the interpreter for someone's evening at such a young age.
You know, I never really thought about that. But like I said, I've been in a restaurant since I was 15. I kind of just know how the system works. I know all the intricate pieces. I know that every single person in that restaurant needs to be there for a reason, or else it's not going to work. If you don't have a dishwasher, the restaurant can't open.
Yeah.
If you don't have a busboy, probably still open, but it's going to be really hard. So every piece is important.
Do you think? Let me ask you this: do you think dining is important? Because I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine, and we were discussing just like he had an app that basically broke down like where he spends his money, and like 40% of his monthly expenditures was eating out, restaurants. And if you told somebody like, "Oh, I spend 40% of my money on drugs or sex or gambling," you'd be like, "Dude, you have a problem." You know what I mean? But if you're going out, it's almost as if like this is okay because it's the experience.
I think it depends on what you're doing on going out. Like, why are you going out? Is it a date? Are you trying to spend, quality time with a loved one? Fair enough. That's for a lot of people, I think. I definitely have a few people that come in. They don't even have fridges. Now, that doesn't mean they're not loaded, right? They could live in the Ritz if they wanted to, but they just don't cook, or they've always had someone to cook for them, I think my job is a little pretentious in the fact that I know that I can cook pretty well. I like to cook. I love cooking for people. I won't sit there and do a 5-star meal for just myself, but for my wife, and if my family's over, I'll cook. I know I can do that stuff. I know that I can clean up the dishes and set the table and do all the little things. So is it important? I wouldn't say that it is important to have such value put on it.
What does that mean, value put on it?
Like a money, like a dollar value. I think it doesn't have to be that expensive.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm doing the same stuff that I know. If you go into a Denny's and you ask for their best server, they're going to be doing the exact stuff that I'm doing. They're just working at Denny's. I think in a restaurant like mine, we just focus on getting those people.
Meaning the best from any restaurant.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily, because I did want to ask this, it's not necessarily like, how many of the people that work there work off of word of mouth, implying that you know somebody, therefore you can just get them through? And the reason I ask that is, if enough people do that, then the quality control starts to kind of diminish because it's more of like who you know, not what you know. And
I can say that I have seen that.
Yeah.
100% in my place of work.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's isolated to just yours, by the way.
No. Any place that does that.
I don't think it's isolated to just serving. I can tell you that.
Oh, it's anywhere.
Yeah, across industries.
You bring in your brother, and then he brings in his...
Hey, this guy, he's my buddy. He's a good guy.
And that nephew-in-law just happens to be running drugs at the end of the night after a shift, and you don't have the guy for the next shift.
I know a story of a gym owner here actually not, I want to be careful how I say this. I know a story of a gym owner where they had some guys to film some promo. And then after the training session, one of the co-owners of the gym was like selling weed out of the locker room. Like,
see what I mean?
Here you go, guys.
But yeah, you hire your brother, and that's I think, my brothers work there. And well, now I just work with one brother, but I think that's kind of what he was saying. He's too friendly with everybody. You can't be mad at somebody when you're their best friend, And I think that's hard at a restaurant where you're there on long shifts and you're working hand in hand with each other, and you're constantly doing something for someone else and they're doing something for you, blah, blah, blah. I think my brother got to a point where he was like, everyone just keeps pissing me off and I can't do anything about it. I can't say anything because I've built too much of a relationship here. So I think when you do bring in all these people that are just family or close friends, it's hard to have those hard talks where you need to step up your game. Your fucking game sucks. You're shit. And a lot of people, they're not coachable. They're not trainable. They can't hear that they're doing bad. So, especially from loved ones.
Yeah.
Or close ones.
The whole connotation of like don't mix business with family.
Yeah.
Which is weird because like I start to think to myself like I wouldn't trust anybody more than like my brother, let's say. But me and Andy have had conversations where I was like, listen, man, I could work with you, but I can never work for you in that capacity. So like unless we go into something like truly 50-50 where we're like horizontal to each other, because how can I look at my brother as like my superior or my boss?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no way. Like,
I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Especially being, I'm one of the older brothers. And
well, would you want to be your brother's boss?
No.
I feel like
I think I would rather work
weird.
for my brother than be his boss because it would be a dynamic that I wouldn't like. I've always been, all right, our dad, we lost him at a young age, and I've always tried to be his man, his guy. That doesn't mean there were quite a few years where we were angry at each other, and we definitely took it out on each other. So we definitely, as brothers, went through a rough patch. Definitely in the last few years after high school, we've become brothers again, And
how old were you when your father passed?
I was 11.
And then, forgive me, how old were your siblings?
Well, it was just, so I call our family, they're bonus brothers, stepbrothers. I have a wonderful stepdad. And so I get 3 bonus brothers, but I was just me and Ethan at the time, He would have been 9.
Gotcha.
8 or 9. He definitely took it a little differently than me. My parents say that I was, your stereotypical, he acted out. He went wild. What's that character from that old Rugrats show? Blah, blah, blah.
No. You meaning like you were just acting out? Or
I was
doing stupid shit?
Oh, doing stupid stuff. Getting in fights and all that. Just
an angry youth?
An angry youth. Ethan.
Forgive me for asking
over his head.
Were you angry at what? Were you angry because your father wasn't there, that you lost your father? Were you just angry? Like,
I couldn't. There's a large chunk in time where I can't put one thing before the other. I don't have all the memory. It's not stuck. You know what I mean? Like a blank space. So I couldn't really tell you why I was angry. I don't even remember being angry.
Yeah. Now, hindsight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I'm sorry.
Nah, everyone, like I said, has a sad story, but it's about making up from it.
Do you mind if the last question I'll ask on that is like, what happened? Like, was it an accident?
He committed suicide.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. It's, like I said, everyone's got one.
We had a gentleman by the name of Eric Polovina on. His father committed suicide 5 years ago, roughly. 5 or 6 years ago.
How old is he?
He's a little younger than you. I think he's 22, 23 now. And, but you were younger than he was. Like, he was a late teenager, obviously. He would have been, 17, 18.
Yeah.
But the conversation that we had was very, like...
That was rough.
It's just... I want to be careful how I say this. I think there are a lot of burdens in life. And I simultaneously think the old machismo, masculine method of like, suck it up, pussy, stop being so sensitive, and all these other things. Like, I think it has some merit, but it's clear that it's not like a universal.
I think that's also where we are today. We don't have the, like, as an 18-year-old graduating high school, I didn't have the thought of, do I have to fight war
Yeah,
this year?
fair.
Or am I going to go work in a shop this year? I graduated, partied at Lindenwood, hung out with friends, go on vacations. I'm a waiter, so I get to take off whenever I want. We don't have the same problems back in the day, and I think now everyone's on Zoloft or citalopram or all these different medications, which I'm on one of, and it's been that way since I was very young. I think that also has messed up everyone's brains too. I've recently spoke to my doctor. I want to get off of it or work on a weaning out system, because when I was put on it, I love my mom. She's the best mom in the world, and every mom is doing it for the first time. And she thought the right thing to do was listen to my doctor and put me on antidepressants, right? I don't know if I would have ever had the same panic disorder or anxiety disorders that I have if I never would have been put on those medications. If I would have learned to cope on it or cope with it on my own, I don't know if I would, like, I take Zoloft every day. I have a low dose allergy medicine that I take if I start panicking. I can't get like I was getting some injection shots for my muscle. Stuck the needle in. I started panicking. I pass out. I wake up and I'm puking.
Like what, an anxiety attack?
So I just have like a severe, every time I've gotten like real hurt, when I broke my wrist, passed out, woke up, didn't know where I'm at. Crazy. So I just have really bad panic attacks, and I don't know if I would have those if I never was if I was given that
Option.
Yeah, if I would have learned to just cope.
Forgive me for asking this, but so were you starting on this medication like in your young teenage years post your father? Okay, and then you've been on them, I guess, roughly for what? Mathematics is like, what, it'd be like 14, 13 years
somewhere
roughly?
in that range, yeah.
At this point in time, though, you're an adult. Like, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like, have you thought about just like cold turkey?
You ever tried telling a meth head to get off meth?
Is it that? Well, forgive me. I'm
I'm
very ignorant.
No, don't worry. I'm just saying, to just give you perspective, getting off medications like that you've been on for, say, for example, a meth head has been doing meth for 13 years. And you tell them cold turkey meth, they're going to die probably. Mine's not that bad. If I stop for 2 days, which I've tried, my teeth go numb. I shake like I've been drinking for a week and I stopped. I'm sweating. I've got vertigo. I can't stand up on my own.
Oh my God.
Like, I'm nauseous. I can't eat.
You're having withdrawal symptoms from trying to get off Zoloft.
100%. And that's why people get stuck. And that's why people don't want to wean off, because they're afraid of the withdrawals. I have another friend I work with. She said, I haven't been able to get my prescription filled for a couple days, and I'm like, I get it. So I gave her one of my low-dose instant allergy pills. It acts as an anxiety pill, and she felt great. But it gets people stuck, especially I've been doing it since I was 13, 12.
Yeah, that sounds like a classic case of addiction.
It is, 100%. Doctor wouldn't say that. Just say I'm prescribed and I need it.
So then when you have the conversation with your doctor about possibly getting off, like, what is the process? Like, going on a lower dosage?
Yeah, you have to wean off over months and months.
And when have you had this conversation with your doctor?
I actually recently did, and she was supportive of it.
I was gonna say, what's the response?
It wasn't actually not my primary. I didn't get in with them. It was my nurse practitioner, but she was very supportive of it. My wife is in the Army, and she actually is headed out soon, cross country, fight for this country. But I came back from seeing her, and I felt like I was going through those withdrawals, almost like my wife was my medication, And I'm panic, not literally, but like I'm panicking and I'm freaking out. My blood pressure is like 190 over 120. I can't get it down.
It's horrible for a guy your age. Forgive me for saying.
and I tell this to my mom, and I
And
tell
you're
this
an in-shape guy too.
right. I
so.
tell this to people, everyone I know. I'm like, yeah, I'm a young old man. I feel like sometimes because I shouldn't have that kind of, I don't know, but yeah, just recently, last couple days, I just got my blood pressure to get down to 158/90. That's the lowest it's gotten in a few days since I've been back. But I, went to the doctor and I'm like, hey, I don't know why this is happening. I'm freaking out, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, it's panic disorder. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. I just want to make sure I'm not going to die or have a stroke. I've been checking my blood pressure and it's through the roof. So, and they checked it. It was like 111 or 180/111. I'm like, yeah, see.
I hate to ask this because I'm not trying to do this in like a rude way, but
No, don't worry.
Have you also like
Ask anything.
Yeah, sorry. I'm gonna stop apologizing, but I just want you to know that for the rest of this conversation, I'm asking this out of genuine curiosity, ignorance, or caring. Okay, and my goal is not to disrespect.
But here, real quick, this whole talk that I'm talking about. This is your typical server. People like me.
I don't think that's the case. I was a waiter back when I was your age.
Long-term servers. They get stuck in it.
You think so?
It's easy to get stuck, especially when you're making the money that fine dining restaurants can pay you.
That's what I was gonna say because like I remember when I used to wait tables when I was in college, and I remember one weekend to this day like vividly where I made like $800 from a Friday lunch to a Saturday close out the evening. I mean it was just banger table after banger table, and I made $750, and this was a decade ago, so it went a lot longer.
I'm actually scared because so my little brother left. He went to go be a waiter somewhere else, right? My other little brother, he was a busboy. He got promoted now because my brother was a food runner. So he just made $1,500 last week as a food runner. The person that brings the food to the table, and that's it. I'm scared that like
he's gonna look at that with like
and never want to leave or never have any aspirations.
But let me ask
you this,
though. Like,
but he's not like me.
But is that okay? So that's the rub, right? Is like I have a quote that I live by, and that's that there's no such thing as bad jobs, only bad salaries. And if you told me you made like $250,000 a year, okay, smearing shit on your face, I'd be like, are you guys hiring? Like, yeah, I'll do that. You know what I mean? Like, you let me know. But if you told me that you're a podcast host, like all this other stuff, but you don't make any money, doesn't sound like a great job, right? So it's not necessarily the title or whatever. It's ultimately the salary.
Yeah,
So like if he's making $1,500 a week, is that so bad?
No,
because I know people that are working in IT that make that.
And that's
money.
That's what I was telling my other little. He left one of the best restaurants to work for. When it comes to the work that we actually do, it's a lot of you're only dealing with a lot of restaurants have servers doing things throughout the whole restaurant that you wouldn't know a server's doing, like cleaning the windows, cleaning the toilets, doing stuff like this. We have a third party for everything like that. So that immediately is out of our head. We also have people that do our side work, right? On the weekends, we don't have to do side work. We pay someone to do it.
Side work implying like getting the plates, all these other things.
Polishing silverware, stocking plates, mise en place, making sure everything's where it needs to be. We don't have to do that. So it's like the only thing you're doing is being you with your guest. And that is awesome. I love it. I can focus on my guest. And that's what I want to do. And my little brother now is working in a different place, and he's starting to figure out, he's like, oh, there's a lot more work that comes with being in a privately owned restaurant or a family-owned restaurant that is also on the same level as Capital Grill, Napoli. They're on par with us, and they strive for the perfect service, and he's learning that. And he was telling me they fired a busboy over like dropping glasses. You know, glasses I've dropped. Oh my god, probably
it depends on how. I think it also depends on like. I hate to say it this way, but like I've seen people get fired because they were always looking for a reason to fire them. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And I mean, in corporate America, the average layoff is not really a layoff. The average layoff is a way. It's a scapegoat. It's a way to get rid of a bunch of people that you didn't want to have anyway.
Ooh, it is hard to get fired.
Really?
You've got to commit a crime to get fired at my restaurant. You could show up late every day for the year and be fine. We're going to have to cut this name out.
I want to take a step back before we go back to
Yeah, I'm
serving
sorry.
though, because we were having a conversation about your childhood, some of the traumas that occurred that could possibly lead you to the point in your life now. One of the questions I wanted to ask was like you seem hyper aware and cognizant of your own strengths and weaknesses. And you're speaking of it in a way that's very objective and logical, not necessarily emotional. It's I'm having a hard time like I don't want to say I'm having a hard time believing that these things affect you as much as they do because you seem so coherent with it and that you've like almost understand it like at a cellular level and you're able to speak about it with such clairvoyance that I'm like, okay, so I have a bunch of friends that don't know they're alcoholics, right? And then all the friends that knew that they're like, hey man, like I'm drinking too much, like this is affecting me. They start weaning off alcohol of their own
As soon as you
accord.
start weaning off, that means you're an alcoholic. If you have to wean off of something, you're an addict.
Agreed, but I guess what I'm trying to say is like the logical individual who understands the variables at play can make the change, which is what I'm kind of seeing from you. It almost begs the question, like, how did you get to the point where you were like this kind of like this far deep into that lifestyle of feeling? How long have you felt like, oh man, I'm just gonna ask it, man. How long have you wanted to change your life like this? In terms of getting off the Zoloft, in terms of
Since I was in high school.
yeah. So it's been a
But
minute.
I've had that's the thing. Easy to get stuck, easy to be complacent, and I'm very good at being complacent and being happy where I'm at. I like to find happiness in things that there might not be. I'm very good at that. The bad thing is I find comfort in just about anything, and I might just get stuck being comfortable.
In any other context, I would say that it's a skill set to find the comfort in uncomfortable situations like that. But in this situation, I feel
like for an alcoholic, they get comfortable with being drunk,
yeah.
and they get comfortable with the problems they make. They just stop caring. They get comfortable. I have always known that I'm very complacent, and I also know I don't want to be. And it's like a constant battle with myself that I'm like I don't want to be like my dad. He drank a 30-pack of beer every single night. I don't think I ever saw him sober. And I think he started to see that in himself and finally couldn't handle it anymore, right? He was on the same stuff I was, same medications. And it just scares me, you know what I mean? I don't want it to end up like that. But seeing it, face value, and see it right in front of me, makes me want to switch. So I've always wanted to. And that's the funny thing. When I was in high school, I always said no to going to parties and everything. I don't want to be like my dad. I don't want to be like my dad. And then I get to senior year of high school, I started going out every once in a while. And now I'm 26. I would say, by definition, I am an alcoholic. I would say that. Not proud of it by any means, but I know it in my head, and that's the first step. I feel like that's a constant battle because I ended up just like my dad. Not just like him, but following. I'm taking the same steps that he's doing, slowly but surely. So I'm constantly trying to not. You know what I mean? Well, that's why I'm only taking a couple sips.
Oh yeah, I mean, I already down mine, so don't feel bad. I feel like the human condition, the human experience, is one of constant reflection, overcoming adversity, growth. I believe that to be human is to overcome, and that we are simultaneously battling the circumstances of comfort because it's nice to recede, it's nice to take a pause, a break, while simultaneously battling for more, the next thing, because that sense of accomplishment, that goal that was sought and acquired and accomplished is euphoric.
God, I wish I could put that feeling that I get, I want so bad feeling into something that is like that. And that's what I try to do with my serving. I want to be the best waiter.
That's your competitive outlet now.
That is. And I wish I could step out of my box. You know what I mean?
No. What do you mean by that?
I'm keeping myself in a box, just waiting tables.
Yeah, but you're not just waiting tables. Like, that's your job.
I know.
By that logic, like,
I know. I have an internal.
Would it be better if you worked at a cube all day, 9 to 5? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
I hate to say it that way, but like,
and that's why I tell myself I love my job. I don't have to deal with the. I did an internship with LMI Aerospace. Okay. I was with their general counsel, so I was auditing contracts all day. Lost my mind. Couldn't do it. Sat in a cubicle, just like you said, scanning contracts.
What about it was like so like?
It's just mundane.
Yeah.
It's
the repetitious.
Oh my God, I can't. Yeah. Then I'm like, okay, I want to pursue 9 to 5 corporate job. I want to be able to secure, a future, right? And so I'm like, all right, I can't do this though. All right, I guess I'm going to drop my minor from pre-law. I'm just going to go business admin. Maybe, I don't know. So I go to the CFO. I'm like, hey, can I do an internship with you? I already worked with the general counsel over here. I was just seeing if I could move departments and kind of see how everything works. I like to know how everything works. And he's like, why get an internship here if you can just go get a job somewhere else for $15 an hour? And I'm like, they don't pay me. Can you just, and he's like, all right, let's go get some coffee. So I ended up getting an internship with their IT department. That had a little more fun because now I'm, getting up, I'm having to go fix people's computers. Usually it's just plug it in.
Hardware issues.
Then that's all I had to do. When I figured out, it's not hardware, then I send in the big guns, Then I'm like, just filing numbers.
Were you doing all this and serving tables at the same time?
I was busting tables at the time. And, I did that forever, or not forever, for the year. And at the end, I was, I make so much more money just bussing tables. I have fun doing it. I like the people I work with. I'm just going to go do that. Ended up at Moss's in St. Charles. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. And, I started waiting tables, and then my manager at the time, he would come in and he was like, hey, why don't you come work for me? And I was like, I don't know who you are. I knew who he was, but I was like, I don't really know where you work, actually. I don't know what kind of restaurant it is. And he came again, asked again, and I was like, yeah, this is all right. I'll come and check it out. Landed in the spot I'm in now. I started bussing tables there and serving at Moss's. I made more money as a busboy at this place than I did as a waiter at this place. So I just gave that up. Said I'm going to be a waiter here. I know watching servers make $1,000 a night kind of gives you a little drive to be a waiter. Now, like the last year, I knew my wife was going to go on deployment, so we spent a lot of time together. I averaged like 20 hours a week. I made $60K. Can't beat that.
Yeah, well
20 hours a week.
Part-time job making good money.
Yeah, and I have all the time in the world to do anything I want with my wife.
Flexibility. You can go in whenever you want, not work with days you don't want to work. I mean, here's the thing, dude. Like, it goes back to my thing of like, I don't necessarily think that there is a one-size-fits-all approach. I don't necessarily think that there is a golden path. There's not. I mean, I'll tell you one right now. There's going to be a slew of graduating
tech guys,
senior graduating class from college that are going to go out and they're going to realize that the labor market is not what they thought it was going to be, and that a lot of them are going to have to pivot and be malleable. And I don't necessarily think that I was given advice when I was in high school that was like, go to college, you'll get a good job. Like super high level. They didn't tell you what to go to college for. Yeah, they didn't tell you which college to go to. That's
exactly how college was explained to me. Go to college, you'll get a
good job.
Okay, what in between? What do I do?
And then once you're in college, you realize...
And that's how I handled Lindenwood.
Yeah, well, once you're in college, I went to UMSL. It's not like I went to anywhere like prestigious. You realize that college is not that different from high school. It's... I don't want to say that university is like... It is an accomplishment to overcome and get a degree. Like, I don't want to belittle...
By all means.
Yeah. Like,
it takes grit and...
time commitment.
Yeah.
All the variables that do generally attribute to a good employee.
A corporate employee.
Not even a corporate employee, just like a good employee. I mean, if you can get a college degree, I think you can at least be competent in a myriad of fields, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that you're going to be the best at any one thing, but at least know that you're competent. You can finish something, time management, all these other skill sets.
I think that's what it's there to prove.
Yeah.
Is that you're good at those things.
You can finish something.
Yeah.
So there is merit to be said about having a degree. However, I don't want to get too like philosophical in all this, but like it made more sense when colleges were like $5,000 to $10,000 a year, not $30,000 debt traps, right? It made more sense when STEM existed and not STEAM. It made more sense when universities were still for profit, but their initiatives were to create the next generation of labor force, not necessarily just
not
sell.
pay the next dean.
Yeah, just sell product to bloat your administration. I often make the joke about psychology and sociology majors, like, oh, okay, so you're either going to teach this, or you're going to write a book about it, or you're going to be at Starbucks. Like, these are your three jobs.
Yeah, I saw this video of a guy asking different psychiatrists, how many people have you cured?
Yeah.
Not one.
That's my big thing about therapy. I know a bunch of people that, like, I don't want to bash.
I would love to go and do it. I think
The problem
that it
is,
would
I
be
know
good,
guys
but
that have been doing it for like 10 fucking
and
years.
they're not cured.
Yeah,
and they're
just
still
like,
dealing with
bro,
the same shit.
Could you imagine?
They got the same fucking problems,
If I went
the
to the-
same fucking medicines.
If you went to the gym for 10 years and you were still fat, I'd be like, yo, you suck. Like,
It's you.
Yeah, like, you suck at this.
Yeah.
So, like,
Maybe it does take the person.
I want to be careful how I say this because, like, I'm not trying to bash anything and, like, I'm not
Some
a
people don't
doctor.
want help. Some people don't want help.
I also think that it's just like a placebo effect for people that want to like do anything but really change. They want to say that they're working on themselves without necessarily wanting to overcome whatever adversity that's actually like in front of them. That goes back to my point about what you were saying. Like, you're super like logical and
I feel like exactly what you just said. I know it, but I'm not forcing those steps. You know what I mean? I'm taking little baby steps.
Do you think a
To
part of
say
it?
I'm doing it.
Do you think a part of it is because of your like work-life balance and the stress on your life and all these other
Well,
things?
right now I just saw my wife after 4 months of not being able to see her, and I won't be able to see her till next year. So that right there is kind of my focal point of stress right now. Just me and the dogs at home, and I got a Doberman and a Husky. They're like gremlins. Okay.
Needy.
So it's a lot for me right now. I work nights. I get home at 11:30, midnight. Got to make myself dinner, blah, blah, blah. That's a normal server life. But by myself, it's just weird. It sucks. Being with your person for so long and then gone.
What branch is she in?
Army.
And is she younger, older, same age as you? Is she going to make a career out of the military, or is she just doing the 4 years?
We've talked about it. We can't handle it. I don't like being away from her.
Yeah.
She doesn't like being away from me. It just is not good for us, I don't think. It's not healthy when you found your person to be away from them when you don't have to be.
It's also the stress of, it's not like they're going away on a work trip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially in today's day and age.
In this exact time and where she's going.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want it to. It's annoying. I have a lot of pent up. I love my country. I love all Air Force, Marines, Army, all of them. Does not mean I have pent up rage against them.
Well, I mean, there's the human element. There's a sacrifice to be made.
Yeah, and I know what I signed myself up for. I married her. I made those decisions. It's now happening, and it's really hard mentally, I think, for me to just be okay with her going away for so long in a certain place and doing certain things, you know what I mean? So it's just a hump to get over.
Yeah.
That I didn't think I would actually have to do. Now I'm actually dealing with it. But, with all the other stuff, it's just one more rock in the bag on my back, Something else that, a little more weight on my shoulders. Just a little.
Earlier you talked about how you admitted that you're an alcoholic. Can I ask you, like, what are the thresholds, what are the variables that you attribute that announcement to? Like, why would you say that? Are you waking up having to have a drink?
No.
Are you having to be under the influence of alcohol to function?
No.
So then that doesn't sound, forgive me for saying this, but that doesn't sound like an alcoholic. When I say an alcoholic, I mean people that like, by the way, I see this a lot with stoners, like they wake up and hit the bong, right? I have friends that legitimately like wake up and have a screwdriver in the morning with breakfast, right? So it's like, I'm
I
not,
think there's a spectrum, let's call it. It's not just you are or you're not. You might be an extreme alcoholic, right? Who, if you don't have a sip of alcohol in the day, you are not functional. And then there's people that I feel like me, who recently I went 5 days, and I counted. Every day I counted.
no alcohol.
No alcohol. And I'm like, all right, I'm good. This is good. This is easy. Then I go 3 days, drink every night. I'm like, all right, calm down.
But to
Then
what
I go 2 days.
But to what extent? Like a drink?
Oh, I could drink.
Getting shit faced?
Well, I don't get, that's the thing. I don't get,
It's
my tolerance is extreme.
So is mine. It's something that I have to wrestle with myself. I thought the same thing.
I can drink half of that, go to bed, send a couple texts, talk to somebody, watch a movie, fall asleep, wake up the next day and be good to go. Half that bottle, and I'll be fine. That's my problem. I have a tolerance for it that doesn't make any sense. And so I'll have 10 shots and think nothing of it.
Okay, that is a lot. Yeah, 10 shots is a lot.
Yeah. So that's what I think would define it.
That's a slippery slope. It's something that I have
It's
to...
an extremely slippery slope.
It's funny because we probably have a similar background because like we both wrestled and I did some athletics and so did you. And early in my life, like I didn't really have any sort of vices. I didn't really drink. I definitely didn't smoke. I still don't smoke, but like the vices that I did have were like, I liked video games. They're like pretty...
I've never been a video game guy.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, they're not super intense, right?
Yeah.
As I've aged and now that I'm done fighting and everything and my athletic career is behind me, I find myself kind of not necessarily doing a lot of the things that I always said I wouldn't, but I hate to admit it, but I like alcohol. Yeah. I like the taste of alcohol. I like how I
don't
feel.
like the taste.
Really?
It depends. Like I like the fact that like certain bourbons, like bourbon is the only thing that I'll sit and sip on. Okay. And I don't like taste of vodka, tequila, rum, gin, anything like that. Bourbon though, whiskey, I like the notes, the orange, the cherry. That's the only thing that I don't like a sip of beer. Doesn't mean I'll have 6. Yeah. It's the feeling. It's not the taste.
The feeling of
for
what,
me.
Drinking, like the act of doing it.
Yeah, and it might be
because you told me that you have a high tolerance, so it's not like you're getting fucking.
Yeah,
destroyed.
so I like the burn.
Gotcha.
You know, it's like vaping or smoking cigarettes.
The ritual.
The burn. It's the ritual. That little tss that you feel in your throat when you take your first sip. You kind of look for it every single time, and you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it.
I'll be the first person to tell you that like I know exactly what you mean, but like for me it is the inebriation. I like
being buzzed.
I love it.
Yeah.
To the point
I'm
where
with you.
So this is why I say this because like
I think that's another reason I like being in the restaurant. I like being with people that are feeling the same way I like to feel.
Yeah.
You know.
It's something that I've had to acknowledge and accept, but like I'm not necessarily like looking to defer or distance myself from it. What I do is I just place guardrails.
Yeah.
So what I've done is I've said to myself like, okay, this is something that I enjoy. I'm not going to not enjoy it. Like there are things that I enjoy that I will not do. I love sex. I'm not going to cheat on my wife.
Right.
I love, trying to think of what else.
I like rock climbing.
Okay.
I don't mind climbing 30 feet up, and then I know that might kill me. Just like alcohol. It's the same thing.
Not at all.
I'm just saying, one might kill you, the other might kill you. One's really fun, the other's really fun.
I had a sip of whiskey. It's like climbing a mountain.
Let's go skydiving. No, I'm just saying, it's the same feeling for me. Is like, I love the feeling of it.
What, the danger?
Yeah.
Are you like an adrenaline junkie?
Like rock climbing, I like that stuff. I like cliff jumping and rock climbing.
Are you an adrenaline junkie? Like,
I would probably say that's probably another reason I like my job. It's fast paced. I'm pouring a $1,500 bottle of wine that someone might buy a car for that same price. You know what I mean? So sometimes it is a little adrenaline when you work in a restaurant, and I think I might be.
Do you enjoy being around the wealth and affluence?
Here's the thing. So I, when I was real, I don't even remember my parents really ever living together, my mom and my real dad. But when I finally met my stepdad, and it was a little before my dad had passed away, they had already started dating. He, at the time, was 40 under 40 in St. Louis.
Meaning he was very successful.
Mm-hmm.
The top 40 individuals under the age of 40, for those that don't know.
Yeah. So he was doing, he did custom design jewelry. Best stepdad in the world. He treated me and my little brother the same as his sons, and I think sometimes better, but I got a skewed. Love my stepdad.
Shout out stepdad.
Awesome stepdad. But at the time, he was selling jewelry to the Rams, the Blues, Cardinals. We had, I don't know if you remember, Britt Miller from the Rams. He used to come to our house all the time. I was like,
wow.
I thought I was in a new world, because before that, we lived in a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. My mom slept on the couch. We slept in the master room, and we had a TV with 3 channels and bunny ear antennas. Right before we met my stepdad. It was a dramatic, I went from, we only ate ramen, and my mom will get pissed off if I say all this. She'd say, you make me sound like a bad mom. No, we all struggle, okay?
It's not about being a bad or good mom.
We spend a lot of time with my mom's side of the family's Latin, so my Tito Lore, my Tito Bill, we spend a lot of time with them, my grandparents, because she worked a lot. We used to do homework in a Mexican restaurant in the back room.
Because she had to work.
Yeah, she's working, so we got to, that's how life was. And then she met my stepdad.
Can I just say one thing, though?
But my mom's the breadwinner now.
But what I'm trying to say, it's not even about the money. It's like, it's not about being a good or bad parent. It's about doing what you need to do.
And she did exactly. She kept us alive.
When you look back
she made
on it,
sure that
do you think she was a bad mom?
Absolutely not.
I say this because too many people put too much emphasis in when it comes to, like, parenting.
Because where was my dad,
Yeah.
Why am I in a Mexican restaurant doing homework? It takes both parents. I love my dad, and I wish he was still alive, and I wish I would have been able to do all the things that a father and son should, be able to do. Was he probably the best parent in the world, and would it have been exactly the dreams that I think it would be? Absolutely not. It wouldn't have. He probably would be the exact same way he was when I was 11, or worse. So it was probably the right thing to happen for me to get an awesome stepdad, to actually get a good role model in my life.
I don't think they're mutually exclusive, and I think both things could have happened in different ways to still get to the same circumstances. I understand the concept of what you're trying to say, but I'm
very forward, very straight, no. A to B.
I think
you know what I mean?
Would I want to be careful how I ask this. You wouldn't want to have a conversation with him today?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I'd give up everything I have, excluding my family. So excluding my family, I'd give up all my wealth. I'd give up everything I have to have one conversation with my mom.
If my mom died, I would too.
Okay. So it's the relationship factor.
It's a hard question. I don't feel like, if I'm second guessing it, so I must not care that much.
There's no wrong answer. This is
right.
How you feel.
I just don't. I don't know. Would it happen? He was struggling. I know that. I know he couldn't beat the demons he had in his head. I don't know what else I need to know from him. He told me when I was real little, we were laying in bed watching a movie, and he was like, "Hey, you better never drink alcohol." And he was drunk. "You better never drink alcohol. You better never do drugs." And I'm like, never. And that's like the only thing that's like one of the only things now that I'm stuck with of his face. I don't even remember his voice, but like I remember his face and him saying it. And what else do I need to hear from him other than don't do what I did?
Isn't that so sad? I love my mom.
Mm-hmm.
I've forgotten so many things. And then like we'll watch videos and something like that, like from old VHS tapes that we've uploaded to like the cloud now. So like it's all digital. But then I'll watch like a video. Like one evening I was working late, and then I was like, my wife and my daughter were in bed, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll go down memory lane. Poured myself a whiskey, started watching some old videos. And you're right, like I forgot what she sounded like. And I forgot, like I remember her face, but then her face looked different. I thought to myself, like, dude, time is a scary fucking thing.
I've stared at a picture of my dad, like trying to like, and it's just weird. Yeah, did he look like that?
Well, so much time's passed.
You know?
So much. So your father, 11, 20, so 15 years, roughly the same. My mom, there's a 15-year, because I'm 33, so she died when I was 18, 19.
Okay.
So, like, we have, like, the same amount of time, not with our parents.
Yeah.
Parent.
See, I don't know how, I feel like the older you are, or, like, in that range, that teenager range, kind of, like, right where you need that role model, I feel like that would be harder. Because, like, for me, I look at my little brother, and he was unfazed.
My mom was sick. When my mom finally did die, like...
Was it hospice?
Yeah, and it was a very melancholy feeling of, like, somewhat relief, sometimes
She's coming to peace.
Yeah, because, dude, so
you have a... Yeah, I would want to definitely...
I also had a different relationship with my mom than you probably had with your father. My mom was, like... My mom was the greatest person I've ever met in my life. I have not met a close second. She is who I aspire to be like, knowing that I probably won't ever be as great as she was. And she, wise beyond her years, was never college educated, came over here from a different country, didn't even know the language.
My mom, exactly.
You know what I mean? So, like, that's why I say, like, we were also fucking broke. But I saw my mom and my dad, God bless my dad, I saw my mom do everything she had to do for me and my brother to where this point in life, like, if my mom was alive, I'd give her anything that she wanted because she would have deserved it.
100%.
So it's just a little different because of that relationship.
I bet if I sat down and really thought about that question for a while, I would end up wanting to, because he would probably want to know what I'm out and about doing.
Here's the problem. So long as we're alive, we can change.
You know why I wouldn't want to talk to him? Because I would be ashamed.
Of what? Him?
No, me.
Having him see you?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the lifestyle? Because you seem like a good guy, man.
I like to think I am, but I think I would be ashamed that... Because like I said, by definition, I am an alcoholic. By definition. Some may not think that I am. I tell my little brother that, and he's like, "You're not an alcoholic." I'm like, "All right. You don't think I am, so that's good." So I'm not that far in.
Do you think you're too hard on yourself, man?
I'm my biggest critic for sure.
You sound like you're kind of really hard on yourself. Like you're.
Well, I've tried to not drink for a few years now, and I just can never. I went like 100 days. And then I have a drink, and then I go 3 weeks without skipping a night without a drink.
It's longer than me, dude. I think you're too hard on yourself. I really do. Now, here's the thing. I also don't, I don't interact with you like on an interpersonal level daily. So, like, obviously there are probably some circumstances or some variables.
You see the funniest and happiest version of me all the time.
But you also see a different version of me than like my wife or my daughter would see. That's irrespective of like the truth of the situation. Yeah. If you're functioning, if you're coherent, if you're logical, and you can conceptualize these issues, by definition, I don't think you're the things that you say you are. I think that you're amplifying.
I've only called myself one bad thing so
far. Correct. But I'm getting the sense that like you're kind of like hyper focusing on these are the things that said I was never going to do.
I have a very, very addictive personality.
Okay.
And I know it. I vape. I smoke weed. I drink. I like to do.
Welcome to 85% of Americans.
Yeah, right. I like to do things that are a little dangerous, but I'm trying to say that I'm aware of it.
Okay, let me ask the question in a different way. And like, this is a question I ask a bunch of adults is like, I remember when we were little, like we had the fucking dare lion, like, you know what I mean? Like we all fucking failed him. And I also think that is just like
You know how proud I was of that?
the dare lion?
Uh-huh.
You wouldn't do drugs, won't
I
have an
was
attitude.
the proudest kid. The proudest kid. Because of my dad, I was the proudest kid. I look back and I think it's hilarious.
So what, you wanted to like not be like him.
Yeah.
And then doing some of these acts makes you think that you are slipping into that
100%.
same life as him. But surely you understand that these are two completely different people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that you're not your father.
Yes.
And that
I
if
do
you have
know
a
that.
drink, it's not going to cascade to your downfall.
Yeah.
I mean, it could.
You never know.
The odds are not 0%,
That's what I'm saying.
but they're not high either. The reason I say that is because like I think life is really hard for multiple reasons, and I think that people will
It's not cut out for everybody.
Well, I think it is cut out for everybody. I do.
I'm saying not everyone's cut out for life. Saying it's hard. Some people, quite literally, don't make it, and they end up doing that on their own accord.
I think that life is all about variables, and any circumstance can be shifted if the variables are shifted. If your father did not live the life he lived in his childhood, would he have grown up to the adult that he was? If my mom wasn't around certain chemicals or whatever, would she have gotten cancer? Maybe. You know, at the end of the day, God does work in mysterious ways for whatever it is that we want to say. But I also think that there is like, you know, I don't smoke cigarettes. And if I did, and then I got like lung cancer, is it God coming in, divine intervention, or is it like a circumstances of my own creation, right? So like, I'm not saying that you can live a life where you do everything right and bad things can happen to you. That is there are a minority of cases that are like that. The majority of them, we reap what we sow, right? So by definition, if we then reap something different, if we sow something different, we'll reap something different. So I do think that life is beautiful, and I do think that for
100%.
it is for everyone. I just think that we need to that it's up to the individual to find how it is sustainable.
That's what
for
I'm
them.
saying. Life is for everyone. Not everyone is made up for life. It just some people get eaten away from it. Life comes and bites them.
Do you think serving tables is both a good and a bad thing for you because it simultaneously provides you a lucrative lifestyle for the amount of hours that you have to work? Simultaneously, it makes you complacent and not necessarily driven for other things.
Yeah, I think there is a good and there's a bad. Like I work with a server. He's makes 6 figures every year. That's what a lot of people strive for. So that's the good. The bad, I'm working in an environment that I probably don't get the best sleep, or I'm working around alcohol every day. If you look at all the 7 sins, they're all right in there. So that's the bad. But what's that saying? Heat an egg up, and I don't know. Don't let your environment dictate you, you know? And that's why I try to tell my little brother too sometimes, but I try not to let the environment dictate me. I dictate the environment. Try. Be who I am. Don't let it influence me. Has it? Probably.
I don't know. I just think that at the
Most
end of the
likely.
day, I just think that at the end of the day, man, life could be a lot worse. You
Oh,
know what
100%.
I mean?
I have it pretty good.
Yeah.
I think I'm a lucky man.
So do I.
I'm married to a beautiful woman, beautiful wife. I have great parents, great family support. I work in a job where I can work 20 hours a week and still make a teacher's salary.
But then what more
Mostly happy.
But then what more do you want? Because it sounds like
Security, probably.
Security? Like what, more money? So if you were doing the exact same thing, double the money, you're good? You're secure? Is that the only variable?
Probably. No, probably not.
I think 99% of problems can be solved with money.
Probably.
I do.
I think if I had more, the same job, same hours.
The only variable is 2x money. How many of your problems go away tomorrow?
All of them, probably.
Yeah. Well, not all of them, but
Other than my wife not being here.
Most of them.
Most of them.
Yeah, I just...
most of the problems are gone.
That's why I asked you the question
Money
earlier.
sucks. It's dangerous.
I don't think so. I think of the 7 deadly sins, it's the least worst. It's bad, but greed is the least worst. I'd be here for that argument. What's worse? Or what's better? Wrath? Lust? Envy? Pride?
Yeah.
No, I think greed is the least worst of all of them. I'm not saying that it's not. I mean, it's not good. It's not inherently good. But I also do think that I can tell you that my own greed has my inability to be comfortable with where I'm at and
I wish I was
wanting more.
greedier.
Okay, so like you wish you had a little bit of that. That's what changed me, dude. I remember I was 22 years old, 23 years old. I had just graduated and I got this job making $75,000 a year. And dude, you would have thought, I think outside of my daughter being born, that was probably the happiest time of my life because I felt like I did it.
Yeah.
I went to school and I got the job. Like $75K a year. I was about to call everyone back in Albania and be like, we made it. You know what I mean? And now, seriously, because like
that's how I felt.
I could afford a single bedroom apartment, my cat's foods. I could play all the video games I fucking wanted. I worked from 9 to 5. After that, I could fuck off, and I had enough money to like. I didn't have nice things. I drove a Jetta. You know what I mean? Like but like it was so simple. It really was. Now when I look about like I make so much more than I used to make, and my life is like magnitudes, like multitudes better, but like man, does the complexity of it all, does the
more money, more problems.
Yeah, the weight of like having that responsibility fucking wears on you sometimes. Now I'm not trying to sound like a bitch. Like 99% of my problems were solved with money. So like I am not a I'm not looking for anyone's sympathy, but I'm just saying that like there is a price to be paid for it. But there are things where like if I was more prideful, I wouldn't have the relationships I had. If I was more wrathful, I'd probably be in prison. If I was more lustful, I probably wouldn't be married. You know, so it's like these other things, if I had sloth, if I was lazy and I was just like, I didn't want to do anything ever, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So like of all the 7 deadly sins, greed is the one that's made my life the best. I wanted a wife. I wanted to be a father. I wanted more money. I wanted all these things and I wanted more. And now my life is the best it's ever been.
I want all those things. And that's what I feel like I'm nitpicking myself, like you said.
Maybe I think you're hard on yourself. I think you're also young, bro. You're 25, 26 years old.
I'm trying to chisel away at the perfect person to be ready for all of that.
Well, no, that's fine. That's not your problem. Your problem is not like the fact that you're trying to chisel. Not that you have a problem, but like just don't shit on yourself so hard for not being perfect today. Like that's fine. You're doing great, bro. You're doing great.
I think I'm pretty good at talking down on myself. I think that's my least, my worst attribute.
No, I think it's laced with humility, but like in a way that like belittles yourself. Like all the things you said today they're good to be acknowledging, good to understand so that you can cross those bridges when you need to, but like you can still do it in a way where you're not like dragging yourself down.
I wouldn't say I'm dragging myself down. I'm just making it known. If you don't say it, out of sight, out of mind. I work that. I really believe in out of sight, out of mind. I don't say it, it's gone. If I don't say it out loud, I'm gonna forget.
What are some of the things that you do worry about that like aren't necessarily tied to you? I'll give you an example of something that I'm worried about right now more than anything. I'm genuinely terrified, not of the future blindly, but like for youth, for the younger generation that's coming up now. One of the things that I've been kind of contemplating is like what kind of world we're creating in real time.
Maybe that's it too. I'm stressed out about all that.
I'm stressed out.
It scares me. We're in
a bunch of shit I'm not in control of.
We're going to be in a surveillance state, which out of control. You have no control. I'm scared. Yeah, our kids, we have like the first generation of children that aren't functioning on the same level as their parents because they've had a computer in front of their face for the last however long they've been alive.
I'll go a step further. That's also the generation of kids that is the likelihood of them having a life worse than their predecessor is greater than not.
That's crazy.
I mean, by all the metrics, by like education, economics, fertility, life expectancy. These things are not in an upward trajectory.
Yeah, everything's down. Everything.
I made this comment the other day because we this year we celebrated 30 years in America, and one of the things that I told a buddy of mine was like, you know, what's kind of sad is I'm proud to be in America. I would not live in any other country other than America, but in the entirety of my existence in America, it's only gotten worse. Mm-hmm. It's only gotten harder. Things have only gotten more expensive. Opportunities, yes, compared to everybody else, but like less so within its own purview. And I'm worried that before I
like
die,
a gold rush.
Well, I'm worried that before I die, the America that I will
not
be
there
buried in was different than the America that I lived in.
Yeah, it won't be. It won't be the same. It can't be. With everything that's been being put in precedent.
I think it could be changed at any time. It just takes initiatives to change it.
Really, a lot. It's going to take a lot.
I will also say that like the hurdles that we have as a society, though they are monumental, are still not as big as some of the hurdles that other societies have. We were talking about China off the record, but like the fact that they have a declining, like they have a birth rate that goes off of a cliff because of the one-child policy that they had.
And they
over 15 years ago.
Stuck with it too.
Yeah,
because they got rid of the rule and brought it back, and no one's doing it. No one's having kids.
The major problem too is immigration as a whole. It's like, you know, where do a lot of migrants go? Number one and number two is America and Europe. 3, 4, 5, whatever is everywhere else. Yeah. So America and Europe is like where people want to live for whatever reasons. Maybe it's because they want.
Because maybe we did set up the perfect system, and now everyone's found the loopholes.
I don't think there's any system that's perfect. I just think that we are the best. That we are the greatest.
Best working system.
Yeah, we are the greatest.
That's a better.
Yeah, I think
we have the best working system. People know that. They want to be here where that system is. That system also can be the worst because it allows. Well, you ever go to a wildlife park? They always tell you don't feed the bears, don't feed the geese.
Yeah.
They become dependent. We're creating dependent people.
You're not gonna find any disagreement with reallocation of resources. I mean, it's an age-old quote of like, if I take from one person, I lost 1 vote, but if I give to 10 people, I just gain 10 votes. And that's how you, over the course of time, over the course of elections, and over the course of cycles, and over the course of generations, that's how you get to this problem. This is how you get to the bloat of all this. And what's wild to me, what drives me up the fucking wall is like, I truly in my heart think that these are such easy things to overcome and save by just one variable, and that's patriotism. Like to go back to have true love for something greater than yourself. Yeah. If
you don't have to love the system that's in place now, but love your country, love America.
Well, also
love what it could be.
But also, if you're running the thing, create a country so that people can be patriotic. I don't think blind patriotism is the answer. I think what you do is you create a nation that generates that patriotism through honesty and through transparency. And I'm not saying that you don't make all the money.
It's hard to put that sense of morality with a lot of people.
I think like if you passed a law like tomorrow that said like members of Congress cannot exceed earnings greater than the growth of GDP for a year, or something, like tie compensation for elected officials to the gross productive capabilities and the abundance mindset of Americans, then you would start getting laws passed that actually start to make sense. Yeah. Because it's like, okay, we're all on the same, and that's the thing that drives me the most fucking crazy is like, we're all on this same ship.
We're all on the same team.
Yeah, and mind you, this is like the only boat that anybody wants to be on. I can't say this enough, and forgive me if you're like a European or you're a South American or wherever you are from the other parts of this world. I've traveled a lot in my time, and places are beautiful. Europe is beautiful. The Asian Peninsula is beautiful. I would not live there. I would not want to like raise my children there. They don't have the same opportunities that they do in America.
I'm very grateful to have been born an American.
You could be our president. I can't. These are the things I fucking worry about. Stupid fucking shit. I just want to make sure that my daughter has the same opportunities
you're
as
trying to,
And I want
to have kids too, and I want them to be able to
I don't want my daughter to feel like she has to leave America to go like to do what? To, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
Security.
yeah, I just it's fucking frustrating more than anything, Brandon.
It's
Because
all dumb.
no, it's not just that, but it's like,
It's annoying.
you know how we were talking about greed earlier? There is a variable in that is like kind of masked, and that is if you are not growing, you are dying.
Mm.
By definition, because of inflation, because of the way that our
You're
society
dying.
works, if inflation was 10% year over year under Biden, if you didn't grow at 10% at least, you're doing worse. You're receding by definition. So like when people talk about, one of the things that drive me the most fucking wild is where people talk about like, oh, why do corporations always have to increase profits and all these other things? And I say to myself, like, this is such a simple calculus to like to explain to people. It's like, do corporations need to make all the money? No, obviously not. And capitalism is an Ouroboros. Capitalism will eventually lead to monopoly, which eventually leads to socialism, regardless of what people think. Because whether it's the government doing it or Amazon, there's no difference from what you and I feel, right?
Yeah.
So we've always had a mixed economy for that reason. We believe in capitalism, yes, but then we create antitrust laws to spur innovation and competition. If you're starting to look at success, and this is what I feel is happening, is like there are branches of actions that have been taken that affect the tree of like America, right? And sometimes people will look at the branch of capitalism and business and be like, that's the source of all my problems. Like, is it though?
No.
Or maybe is it like 10% here? And is it maybe 20% here? And maybe is it 15% of your own choices that you've made in your life?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know how to look into themselves.
Or just look at it at the whole is like, I said this to Jordan Dowdy once. I said, who hurt you more? Your local mayor or Elon Musk? Truly. I can tell you right now, the mayor of St. Louis City has affected my life more than some of these oligarchs.
Yeah, I would say.
Well,
Let's talk about left lane camping. Let's talk about that in St. Louis, Missouri.
it's a commuter
You
city.
can't drive in St. Louis, Missouri. Yeah, cops don't do anything because the mayor doesn't want them to.
Well, it's I feel like it's changing now.
It's very dangerous.
Yeah, that's the real.
I wouldn't want to. That would be a hard job. I almost worked as an EMT in St. Louis.
Why?
And why?
Yeah.
I went and got my EMT license after during COVID.
Yeah, but why would you work in St. Louis City? Forgive me
you
for
gotta
any of
start
the
somewhere.
Yeah. It's the same thing I say to police officers when they tell me they're going to work downtown. I'm like, dude, thank you for your service.
Yeah, you're doing God's work.
Yeah.
And that's I wanted to be an EMT. Went through all the stuff, did all my clinicals, and then I just kept hearing some stories before I started applying, and I'm like, my director told me that one bus was driving downtown, and some people just associate police, ambulance, fire truck. They're all one group. They're all the same group.
First responders.
T-bones an ambulance. What? Like out of malice, out of anger, towards.
Did you hear the story about the EMT/firefighter that resuscitated a guy and brought him back to life?
Yeah.
And then that guy turned around and shot and killed the firefighter that saved his life?
Why would I want to do that? You're dealing with crazies.
Well, I think it goes back to what I was saying about like life.
I'm gonna go pour wine and smile and
Okay. Yeah, dude. Honestly, yeah.
for a decent pay too.
Yeah, if
14 an hour. I think I was gonna start at.
If I have the choice between two societies, one where it's like stoners and peaceful, and two where it's sober people that are killing each other,
Yeah.
they're extremes. I understand that, but I choose one over the other.
Yeah, I'm 100%
Sober
happy
murderers.
I'm 100% happy with the choice I made to not become. I would lose my. I think I like to think that I'm a very happy person, and I'm outgoing, and I like to have fun. I think I would lose that being in the healthcare. I did a couple clinicals, and oh my God, everyone that is on those same 12-hour shifts with you, their soul has been sucked.
They've seen
seen everything, and I don't think I need to see all that. So don't mind me. I'm going to pour this Chateau Margaux, and you can enjoy this wonderful porterhouse, and we can talk about life.
it goes back to the thing we were
death.
saying about like different strokes for different folks. There are some people that are cut from that cloth that strive for that kind of work, and God bless them for that. I am with you. There are some things that I'm built for, and there's some things that I'm not built for. But I also go back to my thing of like, there is a price that you could pay me to live that lifestyle and take on those demons. And I just think that when we talk about these jobs, like the thing that we kind of overlook a lot, like you were talking about like a teacher's salary and all these other things, is like, yeah, man, these people are doing so much for so little. And that's the part that really is kind of sad when you think about it. But society does not, meritocracy exists slightly, kind of, maybe in some certain circumstances, but the majority of the market is vibes.
So,
how about some optimism, Adam?
Let's talk happy.
Yeah, Adam, tell me. I don't mean to get so like. I'll tell you this, like, I don't mean to be so like black pilled on a lot of shit.
Let's talk about why serving's good. That's fun. I get to go on vacations whenever I want. As long as you're a good server and good with your finances, save your money. A lot of servers aren't very good with their money.
You're going on 3 vacations, we're like, where's Brandon going?
Oh, dear. No, a lot of servers make their money for the night. You know, they live night to night.
No shit.
You know, they get their money that evening.
Functional adults?
Functional grown adults.
Jesus.
Night to night. All right. I have my ways. I have my system is I get paid once a week. 25% of my pay comes out, goes towards taxes. Because and this is just about any restaurant you go to, the server's making probably $3.50 an hour. That goes to taxes. You never see it. And then you still owe taxes because you're not getting paid hourly. So for me, I save, or I just have it taken out, and then at the end of the year, I get a tax return. No other server that I work with has. I asked. No, they don't know. No one does that, and I don't get it. And it's because they live.
No, it's not that.
Night to night.
It's also financial literacy.
Yeah.
A lot of people just don't have like basic financial literacy. I see it all the fucking time, not necessarily just with servers. People in blue collar work, people in white collar work, people in all kinds of work. Like, do you know the average credit card debt per adult in America? What it is today?
See. My
it's
credit card debt.
$6,000 to $7,500. Adam. $6,000 to $7,500
on a credit card
is the average credit card debt. Credit card debt, like total credit card debt in America, has exceeded $1.26 trillion. Now the average. Say that again. Trust me. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. I know something about something. Now here's the thing: the average credit card interest rate is 20 to 21%. So take that into consideration for a second. $1.21 trillion on an APR of 20%. You're talking about $230 billion a year in interest.
Yeah, just interest.
In interest. How do we get to that? Yes, economics and all this other stuff, but at the end of the day, I mean, no one's holding a gun to your head and telling you to buy the Chateau Marleau, whatever the fuck you want to drink. You don't have to go to Capitol Grill if you can't afford it.
That's
you know what I mean?
You don't have to. I don't go out to eat places like that very often.
I can't afford it. I do.
Hey, yo. I go to, like I said, I like to cook. I make food at home all the time. I know I'm going to give myself better service than the server. That's the thing. I have a hard time going out to eat as a young person.
What do you mean? Because you're treated?
Oh, yeah. They don't.
Oh, yeah. Because they think you.
Oh, he's not going to spend any money. He's going to. And don't get me wrong. I don't like taking care of people my age either.
Yeah?
I don't like taking care of anyone.
Are they bad?
Like my generation sucks, I think. When it comes to just speaking to another human being, no one knows how to converse. No one knows how to converse. You
can order on our TikTok.
Oh, dude, I get a lot of people that look at AI to answer their questions.
Dude, that's so fucking dark.
I'm right here.
That's so fucking
I'm right
dark.
here. That's what I'm doing. That's what you. It's so frustrating. They're literally, what should I eat?
They're also missing the whole point of the human experience to amplify the evening.
Right.
Can I be honest with you?
I'm here for you.
Yeah, that's the whole point. It's like just the small fucking banter, the joke here and there.
Yeah.
Make our dinner better.
Yeah.
Be the third person.
I don't get it. I don't get, like, no one knows how to go out to eat anymore too. That
You think?
it's like I think it's an
art form?
It's an art form.
Explain.
Not
What is?
not to be the pretentious I spoke
No,
about earlier, but
no. Do it.
you
So,
don't. Yeah, people don't know how to go out to eat.
What does that mean? They come down, order an appetizer, the 3-course meal.
No, there's no strict rules when it comes to what you're ordering, but
Is it the vibe check?
it just
They're having a good time.
I don't know what you're using. Know your silverware. Don't sit down at the table and just destroy everything that the server's done for you. They set the table all pretty like for you on purpose for you to.
You're such a fine dining snob.
To have a pristine, enjoyable
Next time I
night.
come in, I'm just gonna
You're gonna throw shit everywhere. I don't know.
I'm gonna stack the plates unevenly.
I'm probably. I don't like it when people stack their plates. Like, you're not there to work. That's not your job. That's mine. And I think I'm a prideful person. Let me do my job. Yeah. I'm here to do this for you, and it makes me happy doing it. As long as you're smiling, I'm smiling. But sit back and relax. And it doesn't work if you're not sitting back and relaxing. If you're not enjoying it, what's the point?
What is the difference? Like, what are some characteristics that someone that comes in that you know is going to be a quote unquote bad experience, and someone that comes in and you know, oh, this is going to be a fun table, it's going to be a good tip, all these other things. What are some of the key variables that you can notice and immediately tell?
Quiet. When they're
if
quiet.
They're quiet, it's not a good.
Submissive.
Oh no.
Submissive and quiet. They're hiding something.
What would you like to drink? I don't know.
Oh, do you know how often? Oh my God, do you know how often I take a table and it's like it's a younger couple, and the lady.
Adam, you just got a promo.
Dude, the lady takes the entire order. The lady does everything. He's gonna have this. He's gonna have that. He's gonna have this.
To a guy?
Yes.
How progressive?
Once a week.
The feminists did it.
Great.
They won.
They won. But like once a week, I get that.
If my wife tries to order my steak,
a grown man not talking to me tells me he's not gonna tip me.
Well, what if she's paying? What if she's the main breadwinner? What if she's the fucking one wearing the pants? What if he's just got a hog and that's all he brings?
I got a pretty good read on it.
When she got up, she walked bow-legged, and you're like, ooh, that's why she ordered.
Wow, wheelchair. All right. I'm gonna say that I have a pretty good read on personality. The personality, I don't think always tells you exactly if you're gonna have a good night, like if they're a decent guest, or if they're gonna run you all night long, or if they're gonna tip you. You can't really base that right as they're walking in the door, but if they're gaudy, they're wearing a lot of clothing, a lot of gaudy clothes, you might be running around a little bit. Yeah. You never know though. You might get some guy that he comes in, wears sunglasses the entire night, and he's like, "Hey man, you're doing a great job. Take care of your other tables." And I'm like, "All right, you're awesome." And in my mind, I'm like, he must have been a waiter at one point.
Yeah.
Something like that. I think.
Or worked. I think that either working military or working in the service sector just makes for better people.
Yeah.
Because you're working for
you're doing something for someone else. I just had a wonderful couple last night that he served in the Army, and they were super nice. Jets. And thank you so much. The manners. That's a big thing with people. No one has manners anymore.
You don't think so? Even where you... what's crazy for me to hear from you is...
but...
Yeah, because like you work at like the higher end place. Like, so for those people that don't know...
I do take a lot of...
Clayton, Missouri is where all the money and affluence... Mm-hmm. I would say Clayton, Ladue area is the most affluent.
Yeah, you got the Ritz there. You got all the big corporate... It's all attorneys.
St. Louis might be the city, but the money is in Clayton and Ladue.
Yeah.
And that's where you work. So that's why I asked you the question earlier of like, don't you enjoy being around the wealth and affluence? Because I do. I love it.
I love it.
I love every time I'm in Clayton.
That's what I was saying earlier. My stepdad, he kind of opened our eyes to that. Like my little brother, at one point he was asking for crab legs at Taco Bell. What are we doing? Come on now.
God bless. That's
we
success.
Went from 1 bedroom, 1 bath. He had an M5, a couple Hummers, Maserati, and we went from 0 to 100 really quick. And then so I think I just wanted to stick with it. I know I'm not making that kind of money to be in that life, but I work in a restaurant where I get to see it every day.
What does your stepfather and mother say about your line of work?
I don't know.
You don't talk to them about it?
My mom thinks that I should
do more.
What
does do more mean to her?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Find something.
What does your stepdad say?
He's okay with us working as long as we're working.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy, the difference? I think both are correct. Like, I think your stepdad
He knows that
is
we make
correct.
great money. He's like, you guys kill it. 'Cause, I can make $1,000 in a night. I had one night, I had one table. It was a 30-person group. $1,400 I walked with that night.
Just take home.
From that, take home.
God bless.
So,
Damn, what was their bill? Like over $5,000?
11,000. There was 3 servers.
Got you.
And then he threw extra.
God bless him. Shout out that guy.
He was awesome. Kevin Anderson.
Well, that's
him
You do?
very, very well.
who's Kevin Anderson?
To me,
Yeah.
Kevin Anderson.
How do you know this motherfucker?
Well, actually, I was just
Turn the mic on and turn it to your face. You're gonna talk. You got it. Oh, Kevin Anderson, my
Yeah,
boy.
so one of my other regulars at work, him and his boys, they were my very first table. And
So who is this Kevin Anderson guy? Is he just like very successful?
Yeah,
Dropping
him and his
11
buddy, they
on a
started
dinner.
they started another business, and they were like, yeah, let's have a big party.
God bless.
Family, everybody at Capitol Grill. They took up both of our private dining rooms. They had a wonderful night. They had a Stoli Doli luge, like martini luge, ice sculptures. It was great.
Is the whole shebang?
Yeah, it was the whole shebang.
And here I think I'm bougie just because I get the appetizers.
They had their attorney sign the check, and then he's like, "Did they take care of you?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Here's some more." I'm like, "All right."
I would be like, no, he's
No,
super cheap.
They've taken care of me, and yeah, they're awesome. Great group of guys.
It has to be somewhat a refreshing night when you have someone like that coming in, and I mean,
I love seeing a familiar face.
Yeah.
Because then I don't have to like. There's different steps you do with different tables. If someone's never been there before and they also want to know everything, like you're doing a little more. You're talking about the menu. And now you've struck.
Let me show you my
Now
meat.
you've struck my ego. I'm gonna do every little itty bitty
This is
thing
dry
that
aged.
18 to 24 days. But it depends on the table. Some people don't want that service. They want to be in that place and they don't want you to talk to them.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to read that. Some people aren't very good at that. I think I've developed.
Talking about some of your coworkers.
Oh yeah. Well, just in general, some waiters, and that really depends on, or it dictates the kind of servers that end up where. Like at Denny's, you're getting the exact same personality from that person at every single place or guest. Where I feel like the servers that I work with can read a guest and give them exactly what they want.
Do you think the higher end clientele makes for a more positive experience as a waiter, or as a server, or do you think that it also simultaneously makes it a little worse because now you have people that are like a little bit more what's the word I'm looking for here? I don't want to sound
Accustomed to nice things.
Yes, they are susceptible to a certain lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like they're looking
like
for
that,
their
though.
minimums are higher.
Yeah, I like that. I like that kind of. That gives me a little more stress. If I have a table, and now don't get me wrong, if you spend $150, I'm giving you the same level of service that I would give the $1,000 table.
Yeah.
100%. It's not the check. That's not the price of the check. It's how good you do. It doesn't like I know when I go out to eat, I'm like you, right? I throw $100 to the server. $200 bill. Here's $100, and because they're doing a great job. If they did a great job, I'm doing that. It's not always how much they spend. It's the person that you're taking care of.
Did you make my night better? If you did, then I'll take care of you because you took care of me.
Yeah, that's how I feel. It's but don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna give you different service, but
when I was waiting,
it's I would rather. I'm going to have a little more of adrenaline with $1,000 table or a $1,500 table, so I'm gonna have a little more fun doing it. I'm like, they're all right. They're really spending some money. Like, I'm not going to change my service, but I'm going to have a little more fun doing it. Probably, I think. I always, when I see the check number go up, I'm like, all right, it's getting serious. It's getting real. Like I had a table last night. One of my regulars that comes in, he I don't want to say everything, but he sold the company to Microsoft for billions.
Nice.
And every time he comes in, he always makes fun of our wine list. He's like, "Your wines are cheap, man." And I'm like, "I know.
I'll talk to the owner."
You are accustomed to nice things. We got $1,600 bottles on there, and he just. So he had one.
Does it humble you? You think?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
you're
100%. I'm like,
you think you're hot shit, and this
God.
guy walks in.
God, I'm nothing. All right,
Yeah, sorry, we only have this.
forgive me. I'm like, all right. So he ended up getting a chateau, or not a chateau. What was it? It was some red, old world. But he's looking at it, and I was like, yeah, you already bought one last time, so if you wanted to drink it later. He's like, let's just buy another one, and then we'll save the other one that we bought, and then we might buy another. I'm like, all right, yeah. I'm gonna go get those appetizers.
I don't even understand what that fucking means.
But now they live on a ranch. They do cattle and sheep.
Yeah.
And they go out and have nice food.
That was always my goal. So like one of the things,
they're like down to earth people.
Well, that's probably because like I will say this about wealthy people. I can tell the difference between new money and people that inherited it.
Yeah, this guy was not born into it, and I love it. Like you can see it, you can read it. And he's a great guy, great person. Comes in wearing a cowboy hat. He doesn't care.
Doesn't give a fuck.
Doesn't give a fuck. But he takes care of you, and he's super nice. They're always respectful.
I find that I have to add that caveat because I said earlier that I enjoy being around wealth and affluence, and actually I take that back. I enjoy being around people that are go-getters, and that go-getter mentality
Winners.
usually attributes to wealth and affluence. But I do not like
I like
on
being around
average
winners.
on average I don't like inherited wealth people. I've met 6 millionaires now that are like legacy millionaires. Some of the I would exclusively for work. I would never like interact with them outside of that. Like to the point where I had dinner with a guy. He was like, he's a client. I want to be careful how I say this. Prospective client, dinner, we're taking him out. We're taking him out on our dime. And I do judge people on few metrics. One of the things that I will judge you on is how you treat people who are serving you. Don't be a fucking cunt is like the minimum. This guy, the way he
I check all my friends.
Yeah, dude, the way he talked to the servers, and the problem is like, we need your money, so like I don't want to chin check him, but he's just like, I mean, he's giving it to this guy.
Easy.
Like, relax, bro. He's like,
And it's hard to do in that situation. And if you have a good server, they can handle it.
Well,
they can eat it, and they're just going to go in the back and be like, "This fucking dickhead."
you need to remind yourselves that this guy is doing this as a job.
Yeah.
They're not. You don't own them.
No.
And to the extent that they're serving you, be grateful. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking this, but like
Everyone's got too used to service.
yeah.
It's not.
And he thinks
it's
just
not
because he's
coveted.
spending money that he can be
Yeah.
this way.
And a lot of people think that way.
So well, I bought the $300 bottle or whatever the fuck. I'm just like, okay, dude, it's not
Great.
It's not that. Yeah,
So
it's like
did this guy over here. And he's been the nicest man I've ever met in my entire life.
You're not special.
Yeah,
You're not special.
I have guests that come in and they spend $180, and in this place, that's kind of walk in the door, right? And if I mess up the entire meal, they're like, "We are so sorry that we were in the way." That is the kind of people they are. I love taking care of them, no matter what. If they're gonna tip me $10 or $100, I like every once in a while getting people. That's what really makes me feel like, all right, I have a good job and I meet great people, and it is worth it. Because I do make some people, they drive an hour to come and eat, and
Or the people that
only come in if I'm there. So I'm like, I do something. I touch somebody's heart somewhere.
or the people that come in specifically, like that's the one dinner they can't afford for the year.
Yeah.
I had Colton Cole on. He owns.
I love making those moments.
Yeah.
I had a mother cry and hug me one night. But our grandfather, he's been really sick, and we have all been having a rough little patch, and this is the first night we've all been able to get together, and you have just made it wonderful, comfortable, a beautiful night. And I'm like, I was like, oh my God. Started tearing up a little bit. Like, those little moments right there, there's people like that, where this is like, in their mind, a wedding night. This is huge. This is a massive night for them. And I want to be perfect for that. I want them to, that's why I do this job, I think, is I make those little moments, and I like being in, it just makes me happy. It makes me happy to make people happy.
Yeah, it was something that I was kind of like reminding myself of is that like, some people come out once or twice a year for like a birthday,
Yeah.
an anniversary, or whatever.
Those are the
you know
people
what I mean?
I'm trying to. Those are the people I want to impress.
And those are also the people where like, I hate to say it this way, but like, let's say we come in and like the stakes are off, or I don't know, like let's say you're having a bad day and you're like, I'm in a bad mood. Sorry. You know what I mean? Whatever. We'll see you again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'll see you in a couple months or I'll see you in
Yeah.
a couple weeks. You know what I mean? These people, you might not see them until next year. You know what I mean? So like whether they're,
So I need to.
whether it's a good or bad experience, they're going to dwell on it.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Do you feel that pressure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I love when I get familiar faces, but every single time, like even when I take care of you, there's a sense of pressure that I'm like, I've made sure that he knows I do a good job. I can't do a bad job.
Oh yeah.
I never.
Standards been set.
If I am taking care of a reoccurring guest, I have a new there's a sense of there's an edge to it.
Do you like?
And I love it.
Do you like it when people reserve you specifically?
100%. I love it. I go in and I see my name and I'm like, yeah, I like that. It makes me happy. Might be a little narcissistic of me, but
No, I don't think it's.
it does make me happy when I see people that are requesting me. It makes me be happy where I'm at.
Is there any sort of like
Makes me
politics?
feel like there's a purpose.
Yeah, I mean, is there any sort of politics? I remember when I used to wait tables, we had this older lady.
Yeah.
We had this older lady.
Yeah, there's politics.
I
Do you mind?
oh, I don't care. It's not smoke, right? It's vape or smoke.
Vape?
Vape should be fine, just not smoke. Where's the? We should be fine. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. Just all the other guests, like I've had guests like want to light a blunt or something, and I'm just like, hey, like I don't know where this.
Yeah, I'm not like that.
We do have a sprinkler system, and
Yeah, I'm not gonna do all that.
You're good. You're good. But no, but I remember when I was waiting tables, we had this older lady, Jackie. God bless Jackie. One of the biggest.
Everybody's got a Jackie.
Yeah. One of the biggest cunts.
Oh my God, I work with one.
One of the worst people I've ever met in my life. I didn't realize it at the time, but she would have gone down, and she will go down as one of the worst coworkers / human beings I've ever met in my life. And I'm so glad, in hindsight, I'm so glad that I worked with someone like her. But working with her,
teaches you a little bit of grit.
Oh, bro,
It does. You have to have somebody to work with like that. If you never work with anyone like that, you never understand people. You have to see every spectrum of a person, and there are truly crazy people working in normal life.
You want to know why I decided to stay in school and everything? Because like we were talking about like making money and stuff like that. Jackie. Because I saw Jackie and I was like, because I mean,
that's the only reason. When I see people like that, that's the only time that I'm like, do I want to do this?
Do I want to do this? Do I want to become?
But I'm not like that. I'm not like that, and you're not like that.
Yeah, but
and did the job make them like that?
That's the thing. Is like the
I don't think
variable
so.
portion. Is like
I don't think
maybe we're not that today because we're still
I
young.
work with servers. I'm the youngest waiter at my place. I'm the youngest waiter at my place, and I work with some pretty stoic and humble men and women that have been doing it a long time that are not like that.
Yeah,
I think
it scared me.
I think the job promotes an environment where you can get drunk and do drugs at the end of the night with your buddies at the end of the shift, and that promotes Jackie's.
I think the X variable is also financial illiterate, not being financially literate. Because the reason she was so. Well, no, you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy though? She actually had like a good nest egg. I thought this bitch was like, man, she must be like super cunty because like she really needs money. We went over her house one time. I'm like, you live in a mansion, Jackie.
Oh no,
Jackie was crushing
you
it.
are naming
Crushing
to
it.
a T.
So I'm like, bitch, you got money. What is all this like scarcity mindset for? It was weird.
Cuckoo.
You know what I think it is? I think it's a parasocial relationship. I think some of these servers, Jackie had money. Yep. Jackie had all these things, but you want to know what Jackie didn't have? A life.
Yes.
She worked 6 days out of 7 at the restaurant, and the only day she would have off is the day that the restaurant was closed on Sundays.
When you work in a restaurant, you do not have the same life as everyone else. You do not have the same schedule as everyone else. For years, I didn't ever work. I worked every single weekend. I didn't go out with my friends on weekends. I don't have like that. Like I go out on the weekend with my friends, and I'm like, where do I stand?
Awkward.
Where do I stand?
What do I do with my hands?
What do I go over here? Is there a line? Like what? So, they're people that And that's the thing. Those are the people that make the most money because they know how to work the system. But in doing that, yeah, you don't get a life. And I like to find a mixture of two.
Yeah, it was wild to watch.
I try and hang out with my brothers every single week. I like to go shooting, rock climbing, swimming.
Here's one of the variable.
I used to coach wrestling. I don't do it anymore because that shit destroys your body. Even
Coaching?
oh my God, these kids are tough. Yeah. Some of these kids are tough.
I will say that I've gotten more injuries in the last 3 or 4 years than I have in the last 10. But I also think the variable is like...
Because there's no like sense of like, I have to compete, I have to be healthy. I'm just coaching.
Yes.
Yes.
But I think another portion of that too is like, some of what I think is like, okay, am I getting hurt because of the kids or am I getting hurt because I did 14 years of martial arts and like now I'm slowing down. I'm 33. I'm not 23. Yeah. But I will say that like this last season I had like 4 different fucking injuries.
Yeah, I
that all went away after.
Yeah, I went. So I coached.
But I can't tell the kids because then they'll be like, "Coach is a."
Yeah, right. No, 100%.
Whatever, coach.
Like a child mind. They're not gonna get it. But I coached for 2 years and then I kept messing with my knees and I'm like, I gotta stop.
It's bad for my health.
All right, I gotta stop. And so my coach, he called me like a year after he had a couple kids actually going to state. I was the first and only kid to go to state from Orchard Farm High School, and so for years no one has gone to state, and so. He calls me, hey, I've got a couple kids. We're going to go to state this year. I'm like, all right, hell yeah. So he's like, well, you want to come out and roll around with them? I'm like, all right. So, I'm rolling around with the, I think he was 185 or 205.
What do you walk around at, 170?
Yeah, I'm 180, 175. I just went to the doctor a couple days ago, 175. I wrestled 145, though. And
oh, you were bigger than me. I wrestled 35 my senior
35?
year. Yeah.
I wrestled 52, then 45. 52 was too heavy junior year. Yeah. Then I went 45 and went back to state. But I'm wrestling with their like these at 205 or 185. I don't. There's new weight classes now, but we're doing lat throws and everything, and I'm trying to be technical, and he tries to fight it because I'm the coach, right? And so I'm like, all right, this is gonna hurt both of us. And I tweaked my neck for like months, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. I can't keep doing it. I've gone to the doctor here recently. I've got arthritis already, which is it's normal. I'm 26. Doesn't sound like it's. How old are you?
Bro, he's 19 going on 40. like listen to him talk. You think he'd be paying taxes for the last 30 years? He walked in today like
yeah,
just
you're a young
grumpy.
Old man too.
Bro, he's a classic grump. But he's actually, here's the thing, he's actually low key like super he cares a lot. Like he's actually very like
That's
sympathetic.
How I am about my job.
Like very, very high EQ. But oh my God, Adam, I love you. But you're like, I'm just fucking
you grumpy young man.
Adam right now is like, why the fuck do I work here?
That's great.
Adam, I love you.
Just because you see me at the tag end of my day.
That's fair. I don't get you. I don't get morning Adam. I get after work Adam.
Don't get me at 6 a.m.
He'll call me. He'll be like, you fucking wasted too much money on your studio. Like, I could have done that shit for half the cost. I'm like, Adam, it's good to see you too, buddy.
I love to see it. That's good.
Sorry.
But no,
we're talking about wrestling. Sorry.
I've got like pinched nerve. I see physical therapy now. And for years, I kind of just like pushed the pain in the back and just was doing stretching. But now it's just like, I can't even, for a few months, I couldn't check my blind spot because that it just was so tight and knotted up and years of just dealing with it. And so I'm finally taking steps to work on that. I've got full range of motion now. That's pretty tight. Been doing like these injection shots, but wrestling, it did that. Yeah. Wrestling did that. Football a little bit, I think, but wrestling just definitely destroyed the knees, definitely destroyed the shoulders.
I will say that
the neck.
I think football is way more. I think football destroys everything, not just the body, but the brain too.
Yes. So does wrestling. Not based on not this.
Yeah, not impact.
I was the kid in trash bags. I was the kid Jolly Ranchers and spit bottle, I was dehydrating myself every single day. Do you know how much water I'm supposed to drink? 60 ounces. Yeah. 60 ounces a day.
Can I tell you about that? How fucking stupid we were? We used to do the same shit, and it wasn't until I started cutting weight for fighting that I realized we were doing it all wrong.
Yeah.
That you don't
No one's teaching us. They just say do it.
They didn't know. Like, I always say this. I don't badmouth my coaches because...
I don't want to badmouth my coach either, but I wish
they knew
do
more.
I wish
Yeah.
that there was like I was given a little bit of science and research behind it, or a curriculum on cutting weight.
The problem is also the consistency, though, because it's not as if you have to make weight once.
No,
you're having to make
keep
weight
doing
like
it.
3 times a week.
My senior year, I skipped my last 2 periods to run.
I didn't know you had period. You're a woman.
Yeah, twice a week. It's a weird cycle. Twice a week, every week.
You would skip classes to go run to make weight. Yeah, welcome to that fucking club.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's certification, though. This is the weight that I need to make.
You're talking about the hydration test that they would have to do.
So hydration test.
For those that don't understand, at the beginning of
test.
the year, they basically do a hydration test to see what your BMI, your weight, and your hydration levels are, and then they can calculate how low you can go into the season at what point.
Yeah.
So it's really important to like really be on for that. So like if let's say you are 125 and you want to wrestle 119 for state, if you have a bad hydration test, you might not get cleared.
Yeah. So I remember I was that kid who took it. I took it to the next level. I was 157 pounds, and that was the night or 2 nights before weigh-in. Okay, so about 36 hours. So say it was Wednesday night, I weigh in 157. Thursday, Friday, I got to weigh in. So Friday around 2:30. That's when the weigh-in is. So a few hours before, I'm trash bags. I'm in 3 hoodies, beanies. I got 4 socks on, a couple sweatpants, gloves. I turn the room up to 100 degrees. I'm running with a bottle, Jolly Rancher, and spitting. 36 hours, I lost 12 pounds. I weighed on that scale butt naked because my underwear was 1/10 a pound over. Weighed in 145 flat. And he was like, yeah, if you would have been half a pound over, you would have
Not gotten cleared.
I would have been, because I was like at 8%, and
is,
the hydration was me cheating. I cheated that hydration test.
Yeah. By the way, so
Yeah,
I want to be careful how I say this because like some of my wrestlers might watch this, but like
don't cheat.
I cheated on every hydration test.
Yeah, you dip the cup in the toilet.
Yep.
Hold it in your hand for a little bit. Body temperature, you're good to go.
Yep. It's one of the. It's the worst part of wrestling, but I understand why it exists. The problem is like me as a coach, I am exclusively the coach that I wish I would have had. You know what I mean? And there are aspects of my coaching style that is reminiscent of my coaches, and then some things that I've changed with times. One of the things that has changed is I won't tell kids to cut weight.
Yeah, I won't. When I have kids that are not gonna, if they want to wrestle, by all means, go for it. Do your thing, but you're not gonna cut weight because you know how mad I was. Well, not for just years.
That. We didn't have our heads in the right aspect.
No, you
can either sit there and fixate on cutting weight, or you can fixate on getting better at wrestling.
Better wrestler, yes.
And I tell them, I go, yeah, you might be able to cut that extra pound, but if you're the best at wrestling, what does it matter? What does it matter?
What does it matter?
What does it matter?
Kick some ass.
So if you got to college, if you're getting scholarships, different fucking story.
By all means.
If you want to be like a state medalist, state qualifier, then we can start talking about like, hey, you might be a little small for this weight class, but I'm not telling you to cut more than like, a certain amount of weight. And then I also take into consideration, because now we have girls as well. So it's like, what's healthy? Like, what's healthy? We had a girl that could cut to 115. Why? She was a district champion, state qualifier at 120. Did just fine. Yeah, and I told her, I go, listen.
Be happy and healthy.
You might be 115. You might make it. And you might be more successful, but I guarantee you're going to fucking hate the next 4 months.
Around like 135?
She probably walked around like 127, 128. Yeah. The problem is like it's percentages, and women
are very, women can't cut weight like that. It's not healthy for them.
Dude, her period hit right at state. So it was like anyway, long story short, there are additional variables.
And cutting weight might influence that system as well.
Actually, it prevents it, because when you put a female body under stress,
under pressure, they stop.
They're less fertile.
They stop, yeah.
So,
no menstruation.
Long story short, though, is like the 2 things I'll change. 1, I don't tell kids to cut weight, and number 2, like I don't have them fall in love with winning. I know that sounds weird.
Fall in love with the grind.
Yeah, fall in love with overcoming adversity, having a tough practice.
1 inch closer. That's all you're looking for.
Because if you can fall in love with the consistency, you will win.
Yeah.
But if you chase winning, you're going to fall into all these little categories, and you're going to start cutting corners. Yep, exactly. And then everybody else will catch up.
Yeah.
The 1 year I medaled at high school wrestling. So I started my freshman year as well. The 1 year I medaled was the year where I said, fuck it. I was like, I'm not cutting all this. It was my senior year. I was like, I'm not cutting all this weight. I was like, I love this sport. I wrestled 140 for the majority of the year, and then I cut to 135 just for the districts and then state.
And it was hell?
No, 135. I could have been 130.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I could have been 130, but I didn't want to. I was just like, no, I'm good.
No.
I'll be 135, medal.
Yeah, I should have probably done that. I went first at state in 8th grade. That was tight.
Little League.
That was my prime.
Nice. That was my prime.
That was my prime. Because I went to state freshman year, lost on the second day, and sophomore year.
What year did you graduate?
18.
So state was still 3 days, right?
Yep.
Yeah, 3 days. That's what we had as well. Now it's 2 days.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a
Fast?
Yeah, well, they also do like class 1 and 2 boys with class 1 girls in 2 days.
Oh.
And then class 3 and 4.
Yeah, wait, time out. There's not a separate state for girls? With how many
There
girls
is going to
are?
be this year, and I
Okay.
hate that. I like the way they run it right now.
Yeah,
The way they run it right now is girls and then boys.
But there's going to be so many girls.
Yes,
And
but
then
dude,
how are you
it's
going to
like
pump that in 2 days if you're already driving the time?
they do amazing. They do amazing.
All right,
Right
yeah.
now, the way Misha does it is, I would not change a thing. They're gonna change it this year. So right now, state is at the Mizzou Center, right, where the basketball team plays.
Dude, I got to watch. Oh man, why did I can't remember his name right now? He was still wrestling at the time when I went to state senior year, and I got to watch him wrestle around. Oh God, Jaden Cox.
Oh, really? Was he a
Animal.
senior?
Yeah, he was throwing dudes around.
Jaden, you know what's crazy? Jaden was a freshman when I was a senior, and I saw him downstairs.
Yeah, no, he was at the arena during state, and I got a picture with him, but I got to see
Because
him
at
actually
that point, he was
practice.
at Mizzou, right?
Yeah, that was his senior year Mizzou, and he was an animal.
Dude, he was an
He
animal
was,
in
he
high
was
school.
to strive. Oh, he was undefeated in high school.
Yeah.
And college. Man's a fucking beast.
You want to know what he did his freshman fucking year? To this day, I tell this story because it's so fucking badass. I'm sitting there. It's my senior
Wait,
year.
Did you go to high school with him?
No, I didn't go to high
where did
school
he go
with
to
him.
high
He was a
school?
freshman when I was a senior. I forget where he went to high
He didn't
school.
go to high school very
but he was
far away.
class 2. He was class 2 with us, but he was like 185, like totally. But we were in the bullpen, and he was just like a cool guy. And I was just like, hey man, like I saw him the first round, he won, I won. I was like, cool. I saw him the second round, he won, I won. So we just kind of bantered and we talked. You know what I mean? Warmed up with him a little bit. I was like, God damn, this guy is fucking insanely good, but like also kind of pudgy. Like his freshman year, he had like man boobs. I was like, you're kind of fat. Like, what is going on? You know what I mean? And he told me, he's like, well, you know, I could go down a weight class, but he's like, my buddy's a senior, and this is the year, like, he's trying to make it, and like, I can beat him, but like, I just bumped up for him. And I was like, this was a foreign concept to me.
Bastard.
Yeah, I was like, bro, I would fight my father for my wrestling spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this guy's just giving it up to be nice.
Yeah, here you go.
Cut from a different cloth than me.
Yeah.
Like he's I do believe this because I've been in proximity to like what I would say touched by God athletes.
That's him.
Jaden Cox is a touched by God athlete, and it was apparent. It was apparent when he was a freshman in high
Oh,
school.
100%. He was when I was in high school, I watched his videos.
Yeah, by the way, bronze
Every
medalist in
single
the
day.
Olympics. Like,
Yeah.
so like
Fucking
this guy,
animal.
to talk about like how competitive the world is in athletics, the guy that I'm telling you is touched by God athletics got third in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's unreal.
2 other guys are.
Wrestling is a sport unlike anything else, though. The best are they're there. God, you can't even conceive how good they are. It's just like there's certain wrestlers, and I've wrestled a couple guys. That's like their body's doing things that their mind hasn't even thought of yet. It's just, they're just reacting.
Second nature.
And it's they're breathing. They're just breathing.
Well, they just don't. I often say that when you get to a certain... So we said this about martial arts, because I did martial arts for 14 years. I only wrestled for 4 in high school. I didn't go to college to wrestle. Umsal didn't have a wrestling team.
Right.
But we say in fighting, like, you have to follow all the rules. Keep your hands up, chin down, all these other things. And then people would be like, well, Arion, you're not doing all these things and all that. I was like, yeah, because I did it for 10 fucking years, and now I've gotten to the point where I can break all the rules. So, like, that's how I look at wrestlers.
Yeah,
it's
you
like, when
watch
you've been doing
Jaden
it for
Cox
10
wrestle,
years-
it doesn't look like it. He does nothing with Like
He's
has he wrestled before?
yeah, and then he's fucking.
And then he just does that. It's like okay, yeah.
And
all
now
right.
the guy's on the back, and you're like,
Yeah,
what
he's
happened?
standing straight up, just like looking at the guy, and like, all right.
Also, when you look at some of these guys, they're doing the fundamentals, but at a level that is elite. So single legs, double legs, arm drags, the same shit you learn at like your first month of wrestling. He's doing at state, he's doing at nationals, he's doing at the NCAA's, he's doing at the Olympics. But when he does it, it's on a different fucking level.
I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I always tell my kids, because this is the last thing I'll say about coaching, is like, it's sometimes these kids can get so fixated on like the cool shit. Like, I want to learn the peekaboo.
I want to do a banana split.
Yeah. Or the spladle.
ACL.
Everyone wants to learn the fucking spladle.
Stop.
And I'm like,
You're going to rip your ACL, your meniscus, all of it.
I was like, motherfucker. I don't say motherfucker. I said, kids, you guys can't consistently get double leg takedowns. You want me to teach you how to do like judo throws
Step
and all these
one
other
first.
things? Jordan Burroughs won an Olympic gold medal with a sit out, a stand up, and a blast double, which is like, if you go to your first week of wrestling, what do you learn? Sit out, stand up, blast double. He took that all the way to Olympic gold. I was like, you don't need 1,000 fucking tools.
Master swinging a sword 1,000 times instead of swinging 1,000 different swords.
Yes, exactly. And that's one of the things I try to tell the kids. I'm like, my job is not to try to teach you all of wrestling.
No, you need
my job is to. I got a state medal with a fireman's carry, a sit out, a stand up, and a double leg. Yep. Those 4 things did to everybody that I could.
Yep. I was definitely an upper body wrestler.
Yeah,
especially after I started destroying my legs. Freshman year, sophomore year, I was a leg rider.
Yeah.
Right. Ooh. And I was putting people in spladles and banana splits and blah blah blah. Then knees got shot. Meniscus is gone.
I'll start tossing people.
Yeah, I got big in the gym. I was playing football at 180 and then wrestling at 145, so I kept on most of the muscle.
Jesus.
So I was stronger than everyone I wrestled every time.
It's also tough.
Every time I lost, it was technique.
Yeah, but that's tough on your body too.
100%.
40 pounds in high school.
35.
When you look back at wrestling, are you glad you did it?
100%.
Yeah.
Taught me humility, a little bit of grit. Don't give up. I wanted to quit so many times. Breaks you like a horse. I say you don't be a good wrestler until you're broken like a horse.
Every wrestler I know has quit.
Yeah.
I've quit.
I quit and came back.
Yeah.
I quit.
That's the thing.
I quit.
That's the thing. Every wrestler I know that
I quit for a day, came back the next.
Or I quit for like 10 minutes. I fucking walked out of practice.
Oh, I've done that.
Yeah. And then like I'm in the hallway
Especially
and I'm like,
when you're dehydrated, you're cutting weight.
It's miserable.
Your mind's not right.
It's miserable.
Your mind is not right. It's putting you are going through torture at a young age that everyone just normalizes as a wrestler.
You know what's funny? I talk to people because they're like, oh, it couldn't have been that hard. It couldn't have been that hard. I was like, listen,
fuck you.
I fought for 12 years and I did wrestling, high school wrestling, not college wrestling, not Olympic wrestling, nothing. High school wrestling for 4 years. I'd rather go through 12 years of fighting again before I go through the 4 years of high school. Like if you're talking about like having to go through it, like not with knowledge, going through the exact same motions again, I choose fighting 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Fighting was so much easier than wrestling. Fighting was.
You think?
I know. I did both.
Yeah.
The toughest competition, the most mental stress, the most stress on my body physically was from state.
Yeah.
Bro, the third day, I remember the third
getting ready for it is...
Dude, making weight that third day,
I'm dying.
Dude, you know what's funny? I even started talking to the other, so like once you know that you're going to be a medalist, that last day, you just go there to see whether you're going third, fourth, fifth, sixth, right? Everybody's done. Like everybody, unless you're going for first place, like the guys that are going for first and second, like the guys going for third through sixth, we're all just like, dude, we didn't give a fuck anymore.
Everyone went to Culver's and Cane's and McDonald's. Oh, I know, I did that. As soon as I lost, my mom and my brother and I, we drove to, what was it, Ruby Tuesdays?
And just fucking stuffed your face.
I stuffed and stuffed and stuffed and stuffed. It was, I didn't have Thanksgiving for like 7 years.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
No, you couldn't enjoy it. You had it, but you couldn't enjoy it. Couldn't enjoy Christmas or New Year's.
Yeah. Like we would do Thanksgiving with my grandparents and they would take us to Golden Corral every year in Arkansas.
Holla,
baby. And I'd sit there with
all you can eat.
My little salad.
And your grandma's like, you gotta put some meat on your bone.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. I will say this is near the end of my career, I couldn't cut weight around normal people. So like whenever I'd go to like Club Fitness or whatever for their sauna, I'm sitting there and there's some fucking Humpty Dumpty looking motherfucker comes in. He's like sipping on his whatever the fuck he's drinking. Like, well, that cutting weight stuff ain't healthy. I'm like, shut up, fat ass.
Suck a dick.
Relax. Yeah, I don't want to fucking hear from you right now. So like near the end of my career, the last 3 years, I exclusively cut weight in my own home through like hot baths. I didn't go out in public anymore. I was like, fuck everybody. I don't want to be around people.
Yeah. People are going to look at you funny or you're going to get the bad image, not the right image to see while you're cutting weight.
I'm glad I did it as well. It helped shape a lot of me. You were saying earlier about how like, you wouldn't know what life would be like if you weren't on a certain medication. I sometimes think about that with wrestling is like,
yeah, I probably would be a different person.
I think I'd be an inferior version of myself.
I'd be soft.
Yeah, I would too.
Do
you notice it at work? Do you notice it at work? Like whenever everybody else is like starting to like fucking, oh, it's so busy. We got all this. It's so crazy. That you're just like, it's all good, guys.
Grind.
Yeah. We're gonna be miserable for the next 4 hours, and it'll be worth it.
Yeah. Let's make that money.
Yeah, exactly.
Make money and get out of here.
Thank you.
Don't get me wrong though. Every once in a while, it does get hectic, and I think for me, I care a lot, and I'm proud of what I'm doing at work. And sometimes I think I care a little bit more, and I'm a little more proud than everyone else. And it sucks because I'm trying to hold myself up to this standard while everyone's like, "Yeah, we're gonna make our money."
They're not wrong, and neither are you. But you can't force your mentality on other people, and that can be frustrating at times.
Out of control. I'm hard, or I'm not hard. Not yet.
Pause.
It's a hard thing for me to get around is things that are not in my hands, not in my control. Yeah. Out of my hands.
Yeah, when you figure that one out, you let me know.
I'll get to you.
Dude, thank you for reaching out. That was very random, and I thought that was like really like
I've been
fucking awesome.
I like to see winners win, and I like seeing people talk, people throwing ideas at each other, different perspectives. Thank you for having me.
No, this was fun. Before we put a cap on it, anything else you want to say? Forgive me. We also kind of we were
everywhere.
Yeah. Let me say one thing. Thank you for being so transparent and honest, because there were a lot of things I did not know about you that you brought up on this that were deep and
I'm a good server.
Personal.
Keep that hidden.
Now that I think about it, it's like, when would you have the opportunity? It's like
never.
I'm sitting there like, I'll have the. So when I was 11 years old.
When I was a little one.
What do you recommend? Ooh, some childhood trauma.
Yes, sir. That's funny. Yeah, you would never know, and that. You shouldn't know your server's problems. You got your own. You're here to get your mind off of those problems, and I'm at this job to get my mind off those problems too. So we're in it together. Yeah.
Is there anything you want to say before we put a cap on it?
Tip your waiters.
What is the proper percentage?
20%.
Okay, 20, not 25, not
25
30.
Is 25.
Because I'm hearing
that's crazy.
Times are harder now.
Times are harder, but if you're doing a damn good job and you're working hard, you should make your money on 20%.
Now here's my question. Fuck you. Here's my question. You go to Starbucks drive-through.
Okay, fuck you.
You go through the Starbucks drive-through.
I put a suit and tie on today. I am crumbing your table.
Are you not? Are you not?
I put your
Starbucks
linen on your
barista?
lap. I give them like 10% because they get an hourly wage. They have to be a minimum wage.
Oh yeah, because they're not. Yeah.
They have to be.
That's the difference,
paid.
right?
They're getting paid. That's the thing. A lot of people don't know. Servers aren't getting paid.
Yeah. What do you guys make? $3, $4?
Like, I think ours is like $3.80.
It's like, I don't even know how that's legal, because like, isn't minimum wage like $8 an hour in Missouri at least?
Yeah.
In Missouri?
Yeah, it is. Minimum wage though, it depends on.
Really?
I'm
Bro, next time I go to Taco Bell and they mess up my order, I am gonna say something.
Yeah, you're making.
Because now I don't say shit. I'm like, they make $8 an hour. $15 an hour. No, get my shit right.
Right. One of the servers I work with, his son works at McDonald's, $15 an hour.
Okay, I'm gonna stop feeling bad then, because I thought they were still making like $8 an hour.
No, they're not. Absolutely not. That's what I made at minimum wage when I was 16.
I don't often speak about this, but the worst job I ever had in my life, and this is why I look back at serving with such reverence, was Breadco. When I worked at Breadco for 3 months, I worked there for as like a summer job. I was like 16, 17 years old before I served tables, or before I started as a busser, before I served tables. I made $7.98 an hour.
Nope.
And I was the highest paid associate there. Like everybody else started at 7, but I requested $7.98 because I came in with like experience in the survey because my mom, I worked for like the church for like one summer, like anyway.
Right.
So they're like, yeah, okay, we'll give you $7.98. And I thought it was a big baller.
Yep.
I thought I was a big baller. The hardest I ever worked for the least amount of money.
Yeah. No,
The worst job.
The worst job I ever had was I worked at a bowling alley, $9 an hour. That wasn't that bad. $9 an hour to be a janitor at a Boeing facility. Now that was nasty.
You got paid $9
$9 an hour.
to be a janitor at
And I
Boeing?
was getting the same pay. Well, I guess they were like $10 an hour. But they're like 30, 40,
Yeah.
50
Grown
years
man.
old.
Yeah.
And it's like a 4-hour shift. And they do that every night. There's people out there that this is go in, clock in, because I would go to school. And then I would have football or wrestling. And then after all of that, around 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, then I would go to...
Oh, to clean up the facilities after work hours.
And so, and they had it set up. So I started working with this one lady, and she's like, all right, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to make it last 4 hours, all right? And I'm like, okay. And she's like, okay, we're going to go to the first floor, dust, vacuum, mop, toilets, and then we're going to take an hour-long break. And I was like, all right, because we can get this done in 2.5 hours. All right, yeah. So I'm cleaning toilets, shit off the walls, piss on the floors, taking airplane shots out of the trash cans on the executive level. $9 an hour. That
Jesus Christ.
was the most nasty work I've ever done. I worked on a farm, though. The hardest work I ever done.
Like manual labor?
Manual labor.
What'd you do on the farm?
Horse shit, cow shit, veggies, picking watermelons and cleaning pigs and picking up chicken eggs and
Some of that sounds fun.
shoveling.
Some of that sounds fun.
When you're doing
All of it.
three horses worth of manure from a week from one side of the farm to the other to get it to the manure pile. Holy shit. In
Literally.
the summer heat. Holy shit. And that was for, I'd get like $50
At
a
what
day,
point
and
does
I'd
your
be there all
nose just
day.
become numb to it? Like you
Oh,
just,
you get
a
used
couple
to
minutes
it.
in, and you're
Well, you
like,
walk, you get used to it. And my grandparents, they always had Black Angus, so I was
That's
used
racist.
to. Yeah, really. I was used to farm life, cows. That was the only thing they didn't have on this farm was cows, and so I was already used to the stank. But I got like $50 a day, and I was there in the morning, and I was there. I did that every summer in high school and middle school.
That's actually that's like my when I'm done with all of it, and my kids are out of the house and all that stuff, they're fending for themselves. I want a farm, but like not like a. I want a farm to be like self-sufficient. Like,
Yeah,
I
and
wanna
that's
be
what this was, because they had like a stand for people to just walk up, throw some money in, grab what you need, and get out. It was in Newtown.
Nice.
It was that Newtown farm.
like meaning like if you want to grab some eggs.
Yeah, absolutely. So I maintained the little market, and and they lived off of what they made, and then everything else got sold. So that's what I want to. There is enough land in this country for damn near everyone to do it. I flew over Texas just recently, and holy fucking shit.
It's economics, and most people wouldn't want
Dude,
that.
did you know Houston is bigger than Connecticut?
Well, have you ever seen like the actual, like, have you ever seen one of those globes?
Yeah,
where they
the
actually
proportion-
show
yeah,
you
yeah,
the, like
yeah.
the proportion of like where things are. The fact that like Texas on a map or California on a map is like as small as they are. Like this is the best. Like if you ever talk to a truck driver, to drive from St. Louis, Missouri to Kansas City, right? That's like state end to state end is roughly like 3.5 hours, barring traffic. You could drive 16 hours from one side of Texas to the other side of Texas and still be in Texas.
It's unreal.
You could drive all. My dad, when he used to truck drive, he's like, I would drive and like I could get through Illinois, Missouri, Kansas in a day. He goes, I could drive a whole day and still be in Texas.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm flying over Texas, and I was thinking this exact thought, because I want this. That's my vision one day, is to have a little farm, self-sustainable. Me and my wife, my kids, a couple dogs. There's enough land if you were to quarter out 10 acres by 10 acres, even 5 acres by 5 acres. There's enough land for
If you're talking about a
and
small
if they were
family,
to,
yeah.
and if they were to input this curriculum into like schools and
Bro, they don't
like
want to do it.
No, they want to keep people stagnant.
No,
and
I'll tell you what they want to do. They want to keep people in cities.
yeah, they want
Because when people are detached from reality, like how your life actually would function if you had to like
they
fend
want a
for
welfare
yourself.
state, so that you can't make decisions for your own.
I wouldn't say.
Dude, I think they do.
I think it goes back to like buying votes. I think that's what it is. I think politicians get in office by promising things. What politician is going to go out and be like, I'm not going to give you anything. In fact, I'm going to take away laws, take away social safety nets. I'm going to take away all these other things because that's what we need. Who's going to elect that person? The fucking dummies, the average person that makes, I want to be careful how I say this, dude. We get what we deserve. Mm-hmm. This is what society wants. Okay. Enjoy it.
We fucked up. I don't know. Maybe our last couple generations have fucked up. I think we're trying to fix it right now.
Can I be honest with you, dude?
We're still fucking up.
No, it doesn't affect me at all. Can I be frank? In terms of like the financial aspect of everything we've discussed, it does not, I don't feel any of it. Like for me personally.
What about your health?
I'm fine.
What about the food and everything we're eating every day?
That's a different question.
Like I was talking to somebody and they were like, because I'm in a group chat with a very, very liberal and a very, very conservative.
I wonder what that's like.
It's hilarious. And we always, all three of us will
Do they just jab at each other?
Well, yeah, I'm always in the middle. But he sent something about, alpha-gal syndrome and how they're, making mad lab-made meat. And yeah, they're taking our meat away. And call him Craig, liberal. He's like, no one's taking your meat away, all right? I'm like, all right, explain to me how McDonald's produces the amount of cheeseburgers they do in a day without the logistical correct amount of cows to do so.
Yeah.
What is it? That is not my meat. You've taken it away. Well, now, that is a corporate restaurant, but like in the 50s and 60s, that was like a small family-owned restaurant.
Yeah.
So if you compare it to that, you've taken my family-owned little diner that provided healthy, good food, and you have destroyed it.
I would go a step further. It's actually not even the fast food that I would say is like the precursor of it. It's the stuff in your grocery store.
Yeah.
I would say the quality of everything.
Always look on the top shelf.
Yeah, the quality of everything has gone down. So like you are correct in the sense that it does affect me. Okay, let me rephrase what I said. None of these things affect me in a tangible manner that I notice day to day.
Yeah.
Right? However, I'm not a fucking idiot. Just because it doesn't affect me doesn't mean it's good or bad. And I think goes back to the thing about patriotism. Like I do love this country and like I want this country to be better for you, for Adam, for everybody.
I want everyone to follow.
I want people to have a better life.
Yeah.
I want one day when you have kids, I want for your kids to have a better life than you.
Yes.
And I want their kids to have a better life than they did. Like that is
We're not on that track.
That's it. I want my daughter to have a better life than me. When I die, when my mom died, she knew that we were going to be fine. How do I know that? Because she had a conversation with my dad. And my dad told us after the fact. She was at peace.
You want to die in peace.
Yes, she was at peace.
That would make you peaceful.
I'm not lying to you when I say like that is something that I'm striving for my daughter, but like I feel like I have to provide that to her, that it might not be as attain. Not that I'm.
Yeah. Well,
not
I'm
that I'm
still
like
on the
something
goal.
special.
I want to make that life for me right now. You know, and that's a lot of people my age and younger and even older than me.
Just wait. When you make like $100,000 a year, you want to know what you're gonna want? $101,000.
Yeah.
It's never gonna be enough. Agreed. So.
Yeah.
Well, here's me hoping to 6-figure salaries in your future, and I don't want to ask that question. We got to put an end to it, brother. This was a joy. We should do this again sometime.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I have fun.
I was gonna ask.